Face facts here. Bren is a giant team, diba?
Super.
Bren is a giant team, and NXP, they're the ones that are trying to claw their way out of this monstrosity na possible mangyari sa kanila.
That's the exact word I want to say.
Monster
Talaga.
Monster talaga.
And this could be a really great underdog story for NXP if somehow they topple the giants ng Bren Esports. A lot of NXP fans are going to be really happy there. But so far in the stats, still not looking good for them. Turtle control rate, 71.43%. Para sa Bren Esports, 47.62% pa lang sa NXP. Of course, that reflects din sa average team net worth difference nila. Lord per game, mas mataas pa rin ng Bren, but not that far, really. Unique hero picks, though, mas malaki ang unique hero picks dito ng NXP. Is this a possible setup for whatever secret
Yan yung
na
new meta
nila?
Yan yung new meta. Pero actually interested ako sa sa turtle control rate. Remember, I released a video back then, yung NXP versus Chicolet game ng qualifiers. Well, I talk about a particular aspect of the game on that video na minsan kapag kumo-contest ng turtle, factor din kung kailan mo tinitake yung buffs. Like for example, if you're a Hayabusa and you're required to get the red buff, hindi mo pwede kunin yon at 1 minute. As in, hindi pwedeng mamatay yung red buff na yun in 1 minute. Why? After 2 minutes, nag-i-spawn yung turtle. So mamimili ka, turtle or red buff. That's something na dapat i-consider din na Nexplay. And for the longest time, I don't see them do that. Yung timers, medyo hindi naman sinasabi natin wala silang respect for timers. Pero compared to teams like Omega and Blacklist, nakita natin kahapon, grabe yung respeto sa timers. Every single time, after 1 minute 58 seconds, yung Omega nakapwesto na sa blue buff sa purple buff ng Harit. That's the amount of respect of these teams towards timers. And NXP compared to those teams, medyo malaki yung gap when it comes to that aspect.
Last game history, Bren versus NXP. Kaya at the start na-mention ko dito yung Itlog Wars. There was a bunch of people nag-share, nagpo-post ng emoji at litrato ng mga itlog. 2-0. Week 6, day number 3. Let's look at the heroes na ginamit dito ng Bren Esports. Still, Xborg, that was someone that they use here. Someone that we haven't seen a lot of this season, pero andyan pa rin yung mga usual support picks natin na Natalia, Farsa. They don't have the traditional tank pick. NXP though pulled out the Grok here. A little bit experimental.
Yeah. I believe yan yung after, and then before Project Next, no? Na wala, nag-stay away na sila from the Atlas. Even though hindi natin nakita yung Atlas dito, medyo weird actually na may Grok. So again, ito yung experimentation stage ng ng NXP. And there was a time on the regular season na sa sobrang experiment nila nagpalit ng role si Yawi and si Chester. I don't know what that entails, kung ano yung naging reason behind that. Pero for me, the biggest story of this affair is the battle of supports. Sige, granted, andyan si Cartesi, H2O, labanan ng mga idols, ng mga Lodi. The biggest disparity comes on the support. If you're gonna compare Few to Chester, napakalayo nung gap. And sinabi na nga ng coach mismo ng Bren Chester should not play skill shot heroes. Siguro aside from Selena. Chester is a really good Selena player. Pero any other than that, medyo ang layo nung gap Ang napakalayo talaga ng gap ng Bren pagdating sa sports compared to NXP.
Bakit hindi nga natin makita yung Selena in this game? Just because ayaw lang nila ibigay ni K. Chester yon with how great he is as a Selena player here. One thing that I want to go back to real quick as we're looking at the last game history is yung top hero picks nila. The philosophy is there. It's the fighters and then yung core. Yung main core lang nung Bren, it was the Lancelot. Para sa NXP, it was the Ling. Sa fighters ng Bren, it was the Tams and there's one more that I'm forgetting there. But on the side of NXP, it was the Khalid and the Cho. Does that mean na medyo parehas sila in drafting philosophy?
Siguro pagdating sa fighters, yes, kasi ang daming Xborgs, daming Katotkacha. Nung regular season, definitely pareha sila. Pero I don't think it is the same story now. Siguro yung Khalid will be highly contested between these two teams. Pero ang pinakamalaking contention dito is yung finals, no? Ito nakikita niyo sa screen, no? Cartesi and H2O, this is a battle of Lancelots and Links. Yeah. Pero with the problem is, well, may problema din si Bren, no? Kapag na-force si Cartesi into marksman, YSS. Pero may potential din kasi sila na mag 1-2-2. And with H2O, I think the only time that I've seen him perform well on a funnel marksman is on the Roger.
Oh.
And that's not something that you want to play against Bren kasi they really excel at early game control and maximizing their heroes para hindi mo makuha yung early game advantage. Very rare times na nakita natin si Bren natalo ng early game.
As we move on to show more stats here, since ikaw yung historian natin dito sa MPL, Carl TZ and H2O, what do you think of pag naririnig mo yung pangalan ng Carl TZ?
Para sa akin kasi, una siya nag-boom talaga back in season 2. Okay? So, ngayon naman, ngayong season 6, actually, for me, like my own observation, parang yung may ganong klaseng image ngayon or hype is H2O eh. Like ako personally, like ako sinusundan ko siya also. Like as an assassin main, as an assassin player, pinapanood ko tong si H2O talaga eh. So for me, parang it's almost like hindi man carbon copy, pero
Parang naalala mo lang.
actually pwede eh, kasi kung tutuusin, mga apo na to ni Doggy eh.
That's true.
Anak ni Doggy yung Ether main back then who eventually turned into Bren, and then now he produced another NXP naman.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking pwede silang magpinsan or magkapatid. I don't know.
Like that's true. That's something that people forget. There are members here of Bren Esports that were under the wing of Doggy nung season 1. Nung Aether main pa sila. And now, parang nakita natin yung reflection ni Carl TZ sa mukha ni H2O here on NXP. Of course, main funnel carry dito ng Nexplay. H2O, MB is gonna be on that XP lane along with Renegade.
Yeah.
Chester as the utility support, Yawi as their main tank. Now, the battle of the supports here, Chester versus Few. Anything you want to say about that, Midnight?
Well, I expounded on that eh. Ang siguro another aspect on that on that specific comparison is may flexing capabilities if you saw the lane prediction. Itong NXP na to, yan set in stone yan 1-3-1, which is by the way not the final strategy. 1-3-1 na sa laning setup. Yan yung 1-3-1. Yung nakikita nyo sa screen na yan. With Bren, yung nakita nyo 1-3-1 kanina, that can change. If you remember, Few was a marksman. Few has played support, off-lane mages, and the marksman role. And if you look at the composition of Bren, kumpleto sila lahat. Meron silang mage, meron silang funnel, meron silang marksman, meron silang support, and meron silang tank. So, kumpleto yung even though 5 lang yung Bren, no, which is weirdly enough, sila yung pinaka-kumpletong team dito sa MPL. Kasi if they try to swap out the roles, all 5 players can still be the main 5. If you flex out Few, kapag ginawa mo siyang marksman, mage, RTC, mag-isang offlane safe flap, balik tayo sa lumang strategy, it can still fit kasi Rebo has played support.
Yes.
So, interesting lang kasi Bren has that flexing prowess over NXP. So, ang surprise dito, hindi actually magagaling sa NXP. Sa Bren pa nga galing yung surprise.
Kung ano ba ang gagawin nila sa setup nila, here are the keys to victory for Bren Esports. Give Garl TZ assassins, establish buff and objective controls. That's where the timers that you mentioned there comes in. Midnight, early 5-man movement, target Yawi's hero pool, and continued micro decisions.
Yeah, yung pinakamahinang aspect kasi talaga ng NXP. All of their games, sa mga pinanalo nilang games, Yawi had the comfort hero. Every viewer of MPL would say na, "Oy, ang ganda ng game ng NXP, ang lakas ni H2O." Pero that was a setup by the tanks. Sinabi ni Paolo Expert kahapon, the tanks are the most important players on the map. Kasi sila yung nag-i-enable ng funnel and sila din yung nag-i-enable ng supports. And if you try to shut that down, suddenly you find NXP on their weakest point. We've seen H2O suffer so much because Yawi is incapable of helping him. So if you just focus your mind on that, tanggalin mo yung pinaka-comfort hero ni Yawi, then si H2O naman yung magbubuhat dito for NXP. And that's the problem. H2O has not been consistent in taking over games.
Let's see now, ano ba ang keys to victory for NXP, considering as how hindi masyado consistent si H2O lately. Okay, better drafting or lineup. Yeah, that's something you really have to do against Bren Esports. Force Carl TZ on the YSS. Prioritize Yawi and H2O to really get their team going. Avoid unreliable compositions. Surprise factor. Gymnast.
Sorry, before we get to the surprise factor, yung to force Carl TZ on YSS, kasi, going back again to Season 2, and all the way until now, ng Season 6, si Carl TZ has had parang mga remnants or mga shadows with the likes of sila Hajizi and sila H2O, sila Full Clip, pero in my opinion lang din, si Carl Tizzy lang yung nakita kong ganito He has this prowess to find, I don't know if you know this term, yung weakness thread. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Siya lang yung nakita ko yung may talagang selective targeting talaga na lulusot talaga siya dyan at makikita na yung target na yun.
Just to make the most out of the weakness.
As in, ganun si Carl Tizzy. At from these other boys, yun nga, si Carl Tizzy lang nakita ko may ganun.
And there you have it. Keys to victory para sa NXP, solid as well. A lot has been said about this match on social media, but at this point, alam ko, gutom na gutom yung mga dalawang teams na to at yung mga players nila na ipakita na lang sa Land of Dawn. Bakbakan kung bakbakan, tapos na ang salita, kita-kits na lang tayo kung saan in the map. Si Reptar, Chin Valdez, Midnight, we are your panel. Let's go and bring it to our casters.
Bren lang malakas!
Support namin, Ben! Bren lang malakas!
Bren lang malakas! Bren lang malakas! Bren lang malakas! Bren lang malakas!
I support Team Nexplay and XP Solid. I'm gonna go for them in the MPL playoffs.
I support Team Nexplay.
I support Nexplay Predator.
I support Team Nexplay Predator Solid.
Hashtag the Nexplay way.
At muling nagbabalik ang ikalawang araw ng playoffs dito sa MPL Season 6. Second series ng ika nga, Bren Esports, NXP Solid. I'll be your anchor for this match with my analyst, of course. Butters, ano ang laban na to para sa'yo?
Let gymnast play.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, napakita na doon kung ano yung kayang gawin ng mga teams na to. And with that, let's move on dun sa mga ideas na baka nga ba 3-0? Who knows? It might happen. Tatandaan nyo, yung nangyari dito sa Aura and ONIC, you did not expect that. Everyone was expecting 5 games, pero sila pa yung nagkaroon ng 3-0. So, hindi natin alam, bilog ang bola, and anything can happen here dito sa series na to. Madaming nag-aabang kung ano mangyayari dito.
Madami talaga. Madami talaga. I mean, kahit sa akin ito, real talk to mga kaibigan, kahit yung paggising ko pa lang kanina has been...
Ano?
I mean, yung kahit yung naghatid sa akin dito, nanonood din kasi siya talaga. Yan, shoutout kay Kuya. Nanonood siya rito, sabi niya, and actually NXP fan siya. Sabi niya, inaabangan ko, boss, NXP. Sabi ko, sinabi ko nga sa kanya, kasi di ba nagda-drive siya.
Okay.
So sabi ko sa kanya, siguro abangan mo yan mga around 8 or 9. Pero since nga, na hindi natin in-expect, yung sweep, 7:30 pa lang. Kahapon, on time talaga. Kasi kahapon, kung naalala nyo mga kaibigan, we started our second series around 9 already, past 9. Ngayon medyo maaga. So, swak na swak to sa prime time at ito ang pinakagustong time slot ni Ginoong Valdez.
Oh, tsaka alam mo kung ano nangyari kahapon nung pagkatapos ng 1 a.m. Gulong pababa, kuha kumot, tulog.
Oo, dito na talaga kami na nagpahinga, mga kaibigan. Pero ito, sa inyong harapan, tingin ko ang ganda ng ng NXP ngayon. Parang sobrang relax. Saka may nabago dito compare sa regular season, Kuya Batos. Alam mo kung ano?
Ano?
Mas dikit-dikit na sila ngayon.
Kumbaga,
Kasi di ba kung dati, parang spread out yung NXP.
Work recliner.
Oo, ngayon talagang,
Tight knit.
Yes, parang masasabi natin synchronize. Saka kumbaga, communication-wise, mas maganda.
Pero dito, yung Bren, nag-iba lang sila ng pwesto ng camera. Kumbaga, meron silang frontal view at meron silang pangtaas na view.
Totoo. Ay,
Iba.
gusto ko yung mga camera angles talaga yan ng Bren Esports, ha? Pero siguro balikan natin ng konti yung kanina doon sa may panel. Yung mga sinabi, alam naman natin na may maraming mga online banters na mga nasabi in between the teams. Pero Bren Esports, they actually claim na kaya nilang i-3-0 tong series na to. What do you think about that, Butters?
For Bren, yung stats nila says yes. Nakikita natin yung performance nila all throughout. There's this thing for Bren Esports na kaya talaga nila gawin yon. But the thing is, tatandaan natin, iba ang BO3 sa BO5. So, ibig sabihin, if you lose 2 games ng diretso sa BO3, ibig sabihin wala na. But if you lose 2 games sa BO5, meron ka pang isang chance para mabago yon at makapag-adjust. So yun yung tingin kong dapat gamitin ng NXP Solid dito in terms of their advantage na kapag ka dumating na at nakapag-release na ng dalawang strategy bigla dito yung Bren, baka malay mo, simula pa lang ng game, gulatin na agad tayo ng NXP, hindi natin alam. But right now, the clear favorites for this is going to be Bren Esports, lalong-lalo na sa stats.
Yeah, I agree with you, Butters. Pero yun din kaya ang naiisip dito ng dalawang teams as NXP Solid are willing to give Fuse one of his successful hero, which is the Selena. Kung mapapansin mo pala dito, no, NXP style of banning is almost the same as Aura PH kanina. The Barats and the Uranus. Meanwhile naman dito, sa Bren Esports, you can clearly see na they are targeting the heroes ni H2O.
They know that H2O dito is going to be the X factor talaga kasi for the side of NXP Solid. So, might as well give the other players yung mga hero nila na may mga X factor sila. Then, ang gawin mo is talagang ipitin mo si H2O in a play na parang hindi siya makakagalaw ng komportable. Tingnan mo yung ginawa nila dito. Kinuha agad nila yung Lancelot para kahit anong kunin ng NXP Solid dito, wala nang mas bibilis doon. Kasi nakuha na din naban na din ng Bren Esports dito yung Roger and yung Harris na nilalaro usually dito ni H2.
Yeah. That's a good point, honestly, Butters, ha? Pero speaking of the draft, medyo complex pa dito for the side of Bren. They have here one of the strongest side lane. And of course, Lancelot ni Carl TC, we all know what he is capable pagka hawak niya ang hero na yan. And again, yung kay Few, meanwhile naman, nandito pa rin naman yung signature hero. Yes, it's the win rate 37.5% na nakikita nyo sa inyong harapan. Pero whenever H2O is using the Ling, regardless they win or lose that match, laging siya ang X factor just like Butter said. Now, for the side lane dito, would you think the Cho gonna be a side lane, a Rene J hero, or is it gonna be a tank?
Para sa akin, automatic kasi ang NXP Solid kapag kumuha sila ng Cho, it's going to be a Rene J hero.
I see.
Hindi sila yung team na gumagamit ng Yawi tank Cho. Hindi nila galaw yon. It could be the adjustment na ginawa nila, who knows, pero as the stats say, si Cho ay madalas ginagamit ni Rene J.
Yes. And we also know that Yawi, katulad nga, well, in-expect din siguro yung ni Bren, or ng Bren, yung sinabi mo, Butters. Kasi kung makikita mo, they still ban the Kufra kasi alam nga nila na hindi pa rin yan ang hero ni Yawi. And one of the successful heroes, of course, ni Yawi, it's Kufra. And are they gonna be kasi kung iisipin mo, no, si Yawi is like somehow like a Chakno. In terms of the hero pool and even on how he actually plays.
May napapansin ako dito sa side ng next episode, halos lahat ng mga skills dito, yung mga ultimates ng mga course nila, pabilog. So sino yung nag-benefit sa mga ganyan? Atlas. They could go for an Atlas right now for NXP Solid, and I wouldn't be surprised kasi isa yun sa mga hero ni Yawi din.
Totoo yan.
And they would go for an Akai, wow.
Well, pabilog din yan.
Pabilog din yan, actually.
Bilog na siya, level 1 pa lang si Akai. But, umiikot siya, so it still makes sense.
And this is actually a welcome adjustment na ginawa na NXP Solid. Natandaan natin na for the longest time, ang sinasabi ng panel natin, na ang nag-aakay lang daw sa MPL, dito at nag-utilize talaga ng tama is Blacklist International. But right now, NXP Solid, gumawa na rin sila ng ways nila para ma-incorporate yung Akai dun sa playstyle na gagawin nila.
Actually, ang ganda ng adjustment na pinapakita rito ng NXP Solid. This is not the usual, the first three heroes were the usual, pero yung Akai as a tank for Yawi, this is gonna be the first. And like what said, Blacklist lang yung nag-utilize nito. And this is one of their signature heroes. Even coming sa qualifiers is their Carmilla.
Okay, so it's going to be a Chester, Akai, Yawi, Carmilla. And things are looking very basic and traditional for these two teams. Hindi sila lumalabas sa comfort zone nila. Ito yung mga heroes na nakita natin na pinik nila doon sa regular season, and hindi sila lalayo basta-basta doon. Ano ang napapansin sa Bren Esports dito? Napakahirap mag-push laban sa kanila. Just because they have the Lancelot and they have the X-Borg.
Yes.
And yung X-Borg ngayon naman, hindi naman talaga siya yung totally sobrang lakas na hero in terms of laning. But in terms of pushing and in terms of clearing the waves, isang last insanity lang kasi yung kailangan nila dito. And kung papansin naman dito yung lineup ng side ng NXP, The thing is, they don't have that fast wave clear na tinatawag natin. Wala talaga sila yung tipong sobrang spammable na spell dito. Aside from MB, kapag nakuha niya na yung Blood Oath pagdating ng level 4.
Totoo yun. And one thing din naman for the side of Bren, this is almost the same na ginawa ng ONIC. Definitely that Selena and that Johed, for sure, guguluhin dito si H2O sa kanyang buff.
And in terms of wave clear dito, I'm actually going to think that siguro nakuha ng Bren Esports yung tamang timpla niya, while for si NXP, I think medyo kailangan niya mag-adjust accordingly sa binibigay na pressure ni Bren Esports.
Yes.
Tingnan natin kung paano magpa-pan out tong game na to.
Yun ang tanong, kung paano nga talaga dito magpa-pan out. Ito na, mga kaibigan, bakbakan na Bren Esports versus NXP Solid game number 1.
And as you can see, H2O dito, medyo talaga nag-iingat lang siya. Ito yung sinasabi natin Kumbaga, yung Thorn Rose kasi triangle siya, so madaming matatamaan and you can divide the damage. Pero tignan mo yung ginagawa ni Lasty dito.
Wow!
Ine-ejector lang niya yung cannon. Because he knows na kapag ginawa niya yun, madedelay pa ng onti si H2. At pag na-delay si H2, pwede pa sila mag-invade.
Yes, good point yun. Actually, yun din yung naisip ko nung, sabi ko, in-ejector niya yung siege minion. Tapos nung nilipat yung camera doon sa may purple buff, makukuha na nila. If napatay kagad yun ni H2O, he could just flinch papunta doon and probably retreat. At baka nanakaw pa nga niya. Pero hindi yun nangyari because in-anticipate na nga yun ng Bren.
Tsaka ano din maganda din yung ginawa ng NXP doon. Binato na nila agad si Chester doon. Pinabawasan na nila. Kaya hindi na rin natagalan. So yung delay na ginawa, na nasagutan din agad.
Oo, nasagutan din agad. Pero ang sagot dito ng Bren, tayo ang mag-invade. Nakuha pa rin naman dito ng H2O yung kanyang purple buff. May bawi nga kaya ba dito ang NXP dahil mainit ang Bren. Flicker out si Few. Ito na, mga kaibigan, ang unang nawala. That's gonna be Chester. Hindi pa sila humihinto. H2O, level 4 na siya dito. Pero nagamit ng Tempest of Fate. Paalis, patakas, and that's it. First blood for Bren Esports. At bago ang lahat, from October 27 to November 13, log in the game and participate in the Tricksters Village event and get Halloween candies for treasure spin. Each spin will cost 4 Halloween candies and you can get up to 7 each day from completing the task. Makakakuha ka ng Terisla Special Skin Hammer Giant, guaranteed pagkatapos ng 10 spin, and you don't want to miss that
Okay.
one.
So napapansin mo dito kapag ginagawa ng NXP Solid ng adjustment, yung mga other lanes para makuha agad ni H2O ng mabilis yung mga crab coin, yung mga buff, sinisimulan na nila agad. Para pagdating ni H2 doon, onti na lang yung gagawin niya. And they know na merong upper hand talaga kasi dito in terms of clearing ang Bren Esports kasi mabilis talaga ang lance So what you do is, para malesen yung time na tinitake nila na mag-take ng mga monsters, bawasan mo na agad para hindi na siya problema na lumipat doon sa kabilang area naman.
Yes. Parang parang sinusubo mo na papunta kagad sa kanya the resources he actually needs. Meanwhile, on the top lane, looks like Flat PC yung medyo nananalo in this engagement. Pero I guess, hindi pa rin siya pwedeng maging overconfident dahil pwede pa rin siyang masipa, papasok doon sa may torre ni Rene J. Yawi here are forced to use the vengeance. Pero yung kunat niya dito, mawawala because Carl TC will be there. Hurricane Dance, pinatalsik, pinalayo lang dito pero umikot na rin dito si Kuya Moribo. Out na muna ang squad ng Bren Esports Tail. Nawala na naman ng isang miyembro ang NXP Solid.
Malinis yung mga plays na nagagawa dito ng Bren Esports. Napipili na yung laban nila and nahuhuli nila yung NXP Solid sa mga area na hindi sila dapat nandun. Nakita mo yung Carmilla, masyadong malalim yon, and ang ginawa agad ng Bren Esports, parusahan natin. NXP Solid, they should stay away from those kinds of positioning kasi talagang hindi magdadalawang isip ang Bren Esports na bigyan ng punishment yung mga ganong kaliliit na bagay.
Totoo yun. And look at the traps na piniplace dito ni Few. He actually knows how NXP Solid is doing on the bottom lane. So, kumbaga, dito yung top lane nila, si Flap TC is, alam niya na 1v1 lang sila doon. So, I think yung Selena dito, they're not definitely just getting simple pick-up. Pero mamaya na yan. Dahil si Flap TC yata ay papalag naman dito kay Renny J. Pero Carl TC, nandito na yung kapatid. Ika'y mawawala. Another one na naman para sa Bren Esports.
Ito yung nakikita natin kanina sa ONIC na parang every single time na merong duel na nangyayari, merong backup agad yung kanilang mga teammates. Papansin mo dito, Bren Esports, they're sticking to that playstyle as well. Lasty, nahuli. Tingnan natin kung ito na nga ba yung first kill ng NXP Solid. Pero he tries to go for H2O.
Totoo, dahil binato niya papaloob, so na-force ngayon yung Tempest of Blade. Pero sabi ni Captain Chester, ididikit muna kita sa pader. Pero sir, makunat ka ba, Yawi? Vengeance, ginamit na naman. Pero si Carl TC, galit pa rin naman. Eto, pasok sila dito. Yung Torre baka mawala. Dun si Chester sa may
Natamaan ng
bandang
pana.
likod. Oh my God, patay ka ngayon!
Bren Esports, manhandling itong early game ng NXP Solid. And right now, they can't do anything. Yung kanilang sidelines dito is level dependent and item dependent at the same time. Si Alice dito, kailangan niya pa yung stacks niya para doon sa magandang Blood Oath mamaya. Ito naman si Rene J, kailangan niya yung BOD niya at mga 1v1 situation para magamit niya sa full potential yung high-end right.
Totoo yan. Now, what we're really seeing right now, Butters, is that unti-unti na lumiliit na naman dito, or rather lumiliit ang mapa dito ng NXP Solid. Yawi here already half on HP. May sipa doon si Rene J, pero that's flat easy. Makunak yon. Ikaw patuloy ang nawala. Habol dito ang mga miyembro ng Bren. Yawi na naman, pinaikot doon, pero out pa din. Mukhang makukuha ng Bren
Tinamaan.
ang turtle. May
Tinamaan si
tinamaan
MB.
sa pool si MB, pero buhay pa rin
Tinamaan
naman,
si MB.
Butters. Pero ang sagot dito ng naku po,
Tinamaan na naman!
may magnet all sa pool.
Baka few.
Baka few yan.
Baka few yan.
Ang idol ng mga kids. Pero ang mas idol ko ngayon, si Chester na umikot, pero patay pa rin yung bata, mga idol. Yawi, dito, mukhang mawawala, pero kalahati na naman dito. I think the Carmilla dito, mga kaibigan, is not doing what's intended para sa kanya.
Okay. Tingnan natin yung side dito ng NXP Solid kung ano ginagawa nilang tama. Ito yung isang bagay. H2O dito, kahit sobrang nagkakaroon na ng problema doon sa rotation nila and the jungle control, map control na meron sila, nag-split push pa rin siya.
Yes.
And usually, kapag ka medyo behind kayo in terms of getting the gold and getting the kills, yan yung usual ginagawa ng lane. Nagahanap siya ng lane na pwede siya mag-push at magpapadala siya ng isang tao galing dun sa kalaban, or kung hindi man siya pansinin, kukuha siya ng isang turret o dalawang turret.
Totoo yan.
So, that's the thing about NXP Solid. May nagagawa pa silang tama at this stage of the game, and that is a good sign if they want to come back from this.
And one good sign is napatay din nila si Lusty doon. So at least meron pa rin nangyayari dito for NXP Solid in the terms of H2O, pero si Yawi na naman dito ang nakita ng mga tropa dito sa Bren Esports. Out na muna siguro dahil si Rene J sa likod, siya na lang ang ating ipunto. Pero yun nga, going back sa sinabi mo, Butters, this is what we've seen to Signal Ultra yesterday. Yung link nila was just forcing a reaction doon sa kalaban, and this is exactly what H2O is doing right now.
Oo, and H2 kasi, isa yan talaga sa mga hindi nawawala sa kanya. Kaya nga siya tinawag na, para sa akin, isa sa mga pinaka-consistent na course dito. Yes, nagkakaroon sila ng problema as a team ngayon, pero hindi pa rin siya nawawala sa role niya.
Yeah, oo nga. Well, yeah, I agree with you. Sobrang consistent pa rin dito talaga. H2O, he knows that they're not gonna be winning at least for this time sa mga team fight. Then might as well go for the side lane, try to split push, then just drag out the game. Bren Esports already had the early to mid game. Let's just try to make an outplay on the late game.
Pero kasi, eto din, ginagawa ng H2O talaga yung role niya. So, ibig sabihin, for NXP Solid, kailangan na lang nila hanapin dito yung gagawin ng apat. Kasi ngayon, Bren Esports hindi magpapatinag sa pressure to eh. Alam ng Bren Esports na sila yung lamang ngayon, and they know this all too well. Kasi nga, sanay na sanay sila sa pwesto na lamang sila. Kasi nga, halos hindi nagpapatalo to yung mga to eh.
Oo.
Nabulol ako doon.
Yes, hindi
Papatalo.
nagpapatalo.
Ang hirap sabihin mo.
Nagpapatalo. Pero mukhang matatalo yata doon ng NXP dahil nawala doon si Chester. Look at Lusty, naghahanap dito ng mababato. Pero flicker out na si MB, hindi niya nahihintayin pa ang ejector dito ni Lusty. Now, what is really happening now with Butters for this side? What's the winning condition for NXP Solid?
The winning condition for NXP Solid is to take this to a very late game. Kasi nakita na natin to, yung Lance kasi medyo reliant talaga siya in terms of using yung kanyang skills. So as long as you can outlive yung skills dito nung Lancelot, magiging okay yung damage output nyo. Pero kasi ang problema, hindi naman nahayaan ng Bren Esports dito. Kasi ang gagawin na ng Bren Esports dito, papersahin na kayo na gumawa ng mali.
Yes, totoo yan. And one thing then is that the composition of NXP Solid is somehow like for a 5v5 team fight. Kasi yung isipin mo, the Carmilla works best pag mas marami kayong magkakatabi from its ulti. Di ba parang...
Wala pa tayo nakikita ng isang full-blown team fight eh. No?
Wala pa tayo talaga. Well, it somehow makes sense kasi hindi pa rin talaga capable yung NXP Solid. I mean, the sustain coming from the Selena, hindi niya pa kaya. Specifically dito, yung damage ni Carl TC, kayang-kaya pa siya ditong mabura.
It's si Ribo dito. Inaagaw niya etong buff. Etong side ng NXP Solid. And iko-concede talaga yun. Iko-concede talaga ni H2O yun. Alam ni H2O na hindi niya afford magbato ng retribution ngayon. Bakit? Hindi aabot sa cooldown ng Lord. Kapag nakita ginamit yung retribution, automatic maglo-Lord yung Bren Esports.
Yes, maglo-Lord talaga. Pero sabi dito ng Bren, hindi na yata namin kailangan umikot dun si Chester, pero parang walang naipit doon. Yawi na naman yung naiwan sa may bandang gitna. Saan ka pupunta? Habol sila rito. Mukhang ito na NXP Solid ang bawi ng api. Ilista mo na kaya, pero out na muna. Huwag masyadong mainit mga tol. Kaya nating i-hold na wala lang doon si Yawi, pero kaya pa rin naman na magdepensa ng NXP Solid.
There was one crucial mistake na nagawa doon yung NXP Solid. Naipit ni Chester si Carl.
Yes.
Carl didn't have Purify. Ang nangyari, nasipa ni Renny J palabas.
Ay, that is something to see talaga. Well, he didn't mean to do it. I guess he wants to do is isipa pa lalo pa loob kasi para hindi makapag-puncture and Phantom Execution out. Pero that doesn't happen. If that actually happened, they NXP Solid could just come back from that position.
And if they got that malaking goal, ang makukuha nila dun just because hindi pa nati-take down dito si Card Z. Well, for NXP Solid, nakakita na sila ng way para kontrolin yung Lance. Nagawa na ni Chester, na ipit na niya. Kailangan na lang nila gawin ulit. Pero saan? Dito ba sa Lord Pit? Kasi itong Lord Pit na to, medyo open to
Oo.
And it's one of the places na, as a Nakai, hindi siya narrow enough para talagang mamando mo yung buong battlefield.
Yes, medyo mahirap din mag-pin talaga. They actually tried that kanina na pagtalon ni Chester. Medyo nabugaw lang yung buong Bren Esports and they mahirap talaga mag-pin down. And wow, that was a solo. Rather, probably tinamaan doon ng pana ni Few. And that's not good news para sa NXP Solid. That is H2O. Their main damage dito. Renny J din, mukhang mawawala. Oh my God! Chester pa ang nadamay doon, mga tol. Yawi here on the defensive. Pasok dito. Ngayon, 5 miyembro ng Bren Esports sa loob ng base ng NXP Solid. Unti-unti na para bang nag-audition ng papunta ng PBB. NXP Solid, isa-isang nawawala. Pero ngayon, kaya pa bang dumipensa nila dito, Butters?
Sila Lusty dito, talagang gumagawa na sila ng mga play. Mag-Hurricane Dance, ang igagawa ay ejector. Literal na hindi nila binibigyan ng panahon huminga o pahingahin yung laro na ginagawa nila ng NXP Solid. And Bren Esports knows na kapag dumating sa late game, magkakaroon din sila ng problema kay Renny, magkakaroon din sila problema kay Alex. So might as well end this right now. They're playing it right. H2O dito, as much as he wants to do something, medyo magiging mahirap talaga in terms of Lancelot yung kalaban niya.
Yes, mahirap nga. Pero nakapitas. Dito naman ang NXP Solid. Gawin mo ng dalawa, hindi pala. Dahil yung Akay yung nawala. Bumalik yung Firaga armor dito ni Ribo. Na-pop yung immortality pero buhay pa siya dito. Habol na doon. Renny J bumabalik. Naku po, Carl TC mahuhuli na nga kaya. Double kill dito. Si Renny J. Carl TC na ang kanyang isusunod. Kaya ba? Naku, may savage yata tayo dito na magaganap. That's gonna be the Lancelot ni Carl TC. Siya na mismo ang tatapos. Ilista na ba ng Bren dito dahil kanila ang unang panalo?
And ito yung playstyle na alam sa Bren Esports. Yung run and gun setup na ginagawa nila. Bren Esports being very aggressive. Nakita nila yung weakness ng lineup dito ng side ng NXP Solid. Pinarusahan nila as much as possible. Hindi nila binigyan ng way or ng oras para mag-scale kahit papano at makuha yung levels at gold nila. Hindi nila nakuha yung core items nila ng mabilis. And pinarusahan na lang nila yung NXP from there on out. NXP, they had a good defense doon, pero the thing is, hindi talaga kasi angkop yung XP nila doon sa items nila.
Totoo yan. And the draft nga, sinabi natin that for NXP Solid, rather winning. Nakita naman natin na nakakabawi na sila, pero the early snowball talaga ng Bren Esports, the item that they had, the lead that they got, na nagamit nila ng tama, at the damage, Carl TC getting a savage on a Lancelot is really something. I thought Renny J could be able to pull it off. Halos si Carl na lang yung natira doon. Pero, grabe. Wow, that was an amazing match. Pero what's more amazing, mga kaibigan, is yung mga insight dito ng ating solo analyst, Rockhart. Ano meron dyan?
we were actually still a little shocked there by the performance of Bren Esports versus NXP. Welcome to Solo Analyst. Ako nga pala si Rockhart at let's try to break down what happened between Bren and NXP there in that game. Let's go to items right away because kita nyo naman, simulang-simula pa lang, they were very aggressive, right? And they did a phenomenal job in making sure na si Carl Tizzy ay dumamang dun sa game na yon. And despite that loss for NXP, I'm still super impressed. Even in na time na parang sobra na lugi na yung NXP, si H2O pa rin talagang hinisiguro niya na hindi siya masyadong magbitas. And yung dulong moment na yun, akala ko nga yun na nga yun eh. Akala ko yun yung turnaround moment. After that, kung makalaban siguro sila, kung ma-takedown nila si Carl Tizzy nun, that would have been it. Yun na yun. Yun na yung iniintay nila kanina pa. And despite losing out on multiple lanes dito sa game na to, nakadali pa rin sila ng isang victory. Again, I would like to see a better draft here. I think Kiawi is definitely solid, it's gonna be more solid on a tank. On like a solid tank talaga na they're trying to swap out roles like sabi nga natin ng panel kanina, pero it really doesn't work out well. So we're hoping to see something change in terms of that support and tank department. Now, on the post-match data naman, definitely a lot of control. Napakaganda ng control ng Bren Esports dito. Sa game ito, 8-3 in both orange and purple buff. And tower agad ang gusto. Tower agad ang hinahabol ng Bren Esports dito sa game na to. And complete turtle control as well. It's yung lineup ng Bren Esports, medyo classic to no? Wala masyadong pinagbago sa piniplay nila mula nung regular season pa. Pero they've shown na kayang-kaya nilang patakbuhin to ng napaka-effective. And yun naman din ang impressive sa Bren Esports. Like, even though they can use the old meta, still, it's pretty much gives the same results as they did in the regular season. Diba? Let's go to the replays. I think dito madami tayong moments na makitang the power of Bren Esports is hindi mo talaga makakaila. Right there, as you can see, it's very difficult to make a Carmilla work in the early game. Chester, most of the Hurricane dances were defensive. So talagang they're focusing on keeping alive. Staying alive lang talaga mga tol. Trying not to die. Pero again, magnet arrows by few. Mahirap ibigay ang Selena sa Bren Esports. Napakagandang resulta ang nabibigay niyan tuwing nahawakan ni few kahit sino pa ang kalaban. Again, small moments pag nagkasama-sama ang NXP, pag nakabuelo sila, kita nyo naman may laban. Pero again, when Bren Esports goes first, yun ang nagiging problema. At kaya nilang i-follow through dire-diretso up until the later parts. Again, overall, the Hurricane dances, we need to see more of that in the offensive way. Kung pipilit nila mag-hide, it needs to be more on the offensive and not on just keeping people alive. Good job, Carl dito. I wish we could slow-mo this. Ito na yun eh. Kala ko turning point na to. H2O was doing a great job in holding everything steady. Yan, salamat. And ito na yun eh. Kaya nila i-take down to. But again, perfect timing on the forehand rows. H2O was even on the finish points waiting for the perfect moment. Pero ang nangyari, si Carl Tizzy pa ang nakadali. And that was picture perfect. Right there for Bren Esports. He's definitely gonna be MVP here. 9-0 and 7 dito sa Lancelot na ito. The second Savage ng MPL Season 6. Yung una is si Few. Nung nag-Eudora naman siya nung Week 8. At talaga naman, Bren Esports, they know how to get the ball rolling. Ika nga nila. And that's very, very impressive coming in from the guys in yellow and black. So will we see another one like that? Posible. Download game ba? Posible din. Makita natin yan, of course, in the next game that we will have. Pero bagong lahat, scan nyo muna ang QR codes dyan sa baba ng screen nyo. Support Bren Esports naman. And I'm sure madami na kayong nakita mga posts sa social media nyo. Mamaya na tayo mag-post dyan. I-scan muna natin, i-follow muna natin sila using these QR codes. Same with NXP Solid. For sure, kadalasan manonood natin, naka-follow na kayo. So, you're pretty good. Pero kung hindi pa, yan, use your phone, scan those QR codes as well. Same with the official MPL-PH Facebook page. Yan lang tayo kumuha ng source, ng news sources. At yung stream, dyan din tayo manood. Huwag na tayo dun sa mga pirata. Right there, fill the survey to win rewards. Namimigay din ang Muto na rewards. Mga nag-fill ng survey na yan, balita ko. So might as well do that as well, di ba? Salamat Muntun, salamat Muntun. Napakabait. And of course, after itong QR codes, ready na ba ang mga phone nyo? Naka-ready na yung redeem? Kasi, alam nyo na. Giveaway codes right there on the bottom of your screens. Laging kaliwa, no? Giveaway code on the bottom of your screens. Go ahead, claim them sa mga nag-enjoy habang nag-ready yung mga teams natin, habang bumabalik sila sa lobby at nag-iinit na ulit na mag-draft. Kala ko, kala ko si Gymnast na eh. Sayang. So, makain nyo, di ba? We'll see more of that later on for sure. Again, the keys to victory were very important, I think, dun sa matchup na yon. Nahuli ng Bren Esports yung keys to victory nila. Carl TZ back on the Lancelot. Napakagandang panoodin. Will they show us more? Yun ang magandang tanong. And on the other side naman, for NXP, will they go back to the old form? Will they develop the new meta? Mapapabayaan ba mag-Roger sa H2O? Madaming mga tanong na kailangan masagot sana right here on the draft. Malapit na. Let's pass it on to our casters.
Thank you so much, Rackhart, for that wonderful analysis. Pero what's more wonderful, Kuya Butters, is that
Anong wonderful?
I wonder how, I wonder
wonder
why.
why.
Pero si Carl, mapusok. Grabe ang mga tusok. Pero now, of course, NXP Solid going back into...
Pasok mo pa yun?
Naipasok pa nga. Pero yun na nga, NXP Solid, what do you think they should have done? Or rather, ano ba yung in-extract, rather, dito ng Bren Esports, dito sa NXP Solid on their draft on the first game?
Para sa akin yung Cho side lane at saka Alice side lane, parang ang hirap niya i-pull off. Kung iisipin mo, level dependent, parehong item dependent.
Alright.
Tapos may mga timing ka ng paglaban. Hindi ka usually lumalaban and ang dami mong ways para i-approach yung fights. Pero kasi may mga times na kapag sobrang dami mong paraan para makipaglaban, parang sumasabog kumakalat. So ibig sabihin, ang gusto gawin ni Alice, magsama-samang laban.
Oo.
Ang gusto gawin ni Rene J doon, yung sa show niya, mumanap ng isa, pipitasin, tapos, ano mo yun? May paglaban siya in a way na 1v1 yung setup. So ibig sabihin, saan lulugar yung isang doon? Saan lulugar yung Cho o yung Alice kapag ka nakuha nung kabilang lane yung ginugusto niyang setup?
Ay,
diba?
yes.
Sabi sabihin, parang paano mo lulutasin yun? Kasi kumbaga, ang dami mong gustong gawin and at the same time, you have two heroes na sobrang maganda sila for their roles, pero sobrang magkaiba yung ginagawa nila.
I totally get what you mean. But, ano sa tingin mo ang dapat gawin ngayon ng NXP Solid? Walang synchronization according to you, the side lane nila during the first match. Would you want ba for them that they should draft a strong side lane and just have their mid lane or their trio on the mid lane na medyo parang not mediocre pero alam mo yung sakto lang?
Para sa akin kasi ang kailangan nila gawin dito is relieve muna si H2O dun sa pressure.
I see.
Kasi medyo si H2O para sa akin ngayon medyo nagpapainit pa eh. So, ang mangyayari dito is give the side laners yung mga side lane talaga na hindi matitibag kahit anong gawin mo.
Not only comfortable heroes.
Yung mga
Kasi
Uranus, Khalid, yung mga Tams, yung mga tipong hindi talaga masisipa sa lane nila basta-basta.
I guess those tanky side lane na na reliable. Pero well, the show for NJ medyo nagkaroon na ng konting ilaw sa kanya papunta doon sa late game. Ang ganda nga nun eh. If ever they could have picked off number 1 yung na point out mo kanina, the miss kick palabas doon kay Carl TC. Number 2 is kung napatay nila doon si Carl wherein nag-savage, they could have potentially come back. Kaso hindi na nga yun yung nangyari. Pero how about the early game presence ng NXP Solid? Kasi kapansin-pansin na it's all about Bren Esports choking NXP Solid. Aggressive na mga pana ni Few, yung continuous aggression na pinapakita ni Lusty with the ejector. Alam mo yung all throughout nahihirapan pumwesto or mag-farm si H2O.
Kasi yan kumbaga ito na lang isipin mo, meron kang link dun sa side ng NXP Solid. Tapos ang gusto mo sa link, talaga makaikot siya or makakahanap siya ng farm na hanggang level 4 na uncontested. Pero kasi yung Lance talaga yung isa sa mga nakikitang counters for a link for the longest time. Dahil sa bilis niyang umikot din and just because napakadaling hulihin or mas madaling, hindi naman napakadali, pero mas madaling hulihin ang isang Ling dun sa mga ginagawa ni Lancelot na pa-dash-dash, turn throws. Kasi madaanan ka lang nun, okay na eh.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. So, now, as we are seeing here, still look like Bren Esports still canceling or negating dito si H2O for his heroes. And somehow, NXP Solid already recognized few. Wag na natin ipaubaya. Wag na nating ibigay itong Selena na to. Kasi all throughout the vision that was provided, talagang nahirapan doon ang NXP Solid. And I'm really surprised for the Harriet ban talaga. This is a very specific na ban, specifically for H2O. If you are on the NXP Solid side, sino ang kakancelan mo ng hero? Dito, they recognize the land, so is it also Carl TZ?
Yes, it's going to be Carl Z. Ayaw nila ibigay yung lands na yan. And probably for Bren Esports, this is a mind game na ibibigay ba natin yung Ling sa kabila o ibaba na natin ngayon. Kasi pag hindi nila ginawa yun, there's going to be the Uranus. Halos wala ngang side laner dito na naban eh. Halos lahat ng mga magagandang side laner open pa ngayon. Tingnan natin kung paano mag-react yung Bren Esports. Kasi kung walang lands, ibig sabihin, yung magiging Ling game ni NXP Solid possibly magiging komportable para kay H2 kung makukuha man nila.
Yes. And this is very surprising kasi kanina yung ban ng NXP Solid was identical to Aura PH na nagban sila ng Barats, they're banning Uranus, pero open. Ang daming open dito ngayon. So, we have the Barats, we have the Uranus, Blacklist International, isa to sa go-to pick nila. Regardless what happened, they're just gonna pick Uranus off the bat. Is that gonna be the case for NXP Solid? Who knows?
I don't think Ling naman talaga kasi is first pick material. Pero who knows? NXP Solid has been playing their own game for quite some time. Pero they acknowledge that the Uranus is still a good hero to go for. Bren Esports right now, nakikita ko na sa kanila, it's going to be a Khalid. And they go for a Barats straight.
For a Barats.
Okay, so Barats ginamit na ng Bren Esports. This could be something going on for them and they just deny out the Ling.
Yes.
So ano yung mapupunta dito kay H2O? Yun lang yung game plan ng Bren Esports na ginagawa nila dito. Na-confirm na natin kasi hindi na lang nila isang beses ginawa.
Yes.
Pina-priority pick pa nila etong Ling. So ibig sabihin, ayaw nila bigyan ng comfortable setup dito si H2. Pero may Yison Shin.
May Yishun Shin.
Okay.
Pero kung babalikan natin yung sa panel natin kanina, according doon sa winning conditions, at least for NXP Solid, is give Carl the YSS. Pero medyo na-flip yung switch, na baliktad. Pero ang maganda naman dito, you were looking earlier na for a side lane na medyo matigas. And that's where Uranus comes from.
Feeling ko
pero
Yuzhong eh.
Yawi. This is the hero of Yawi.
Tingnan natin kung paano gagamitin ni Yawi itong Kufra kasi nakita naman natin kapag nag-Kufra siya, nag-iiba talaga yung setup. And it's going to be a Yuzhong for Bren Esports. This is going to be a hard game for H2O probably kasi nga, nasabi na natin to, isa lang ang dash nitong YSS.
Totoo.
Hindi yan fast cooldown. Ang cooldown yan, ang cooldown yan, mid-range. Tapos, kapag hindi mo na off CD dahil sa requirements, hindi ka makakapag-dash out ulit ng ganun kadali.
Yes. Are we expecting a double marksman dito for NXP Solid?
I mean,
I've seen as similar lineup. Well, not in the Philippines. That's YSS and 1-1. That was the grand finals nga ng MPL Indonesia. Would you seem to see na NXP Solid would do the same that RRQ did? Nakikita mo ba na possible siya dito? Well, they don't have a mage support pa naman dito for the side of NXP Solid, but Chango is open, even Valir is open. There's a lot of options dito for NXP Solid.
Alam mo, nakikita ko dito na pwede nilang gawin yun. Nasa kanila yung Uranus dito, nasa kanila na yung innate tankiness na kailangan nila. Pero kasi ang kailangan mo bantayan dito, yung pinakita ng Bren Esports ng game number 1, kung gaano sila ka-snappy, umikot dun sa may mapa eh. Kumbaga every single time na may matutumba sa inyo, akala mo safe na, pero nandun pala sa kabilang dulo, yung magti-takedown sa'yo. So for NXP Solid, matapang ba sila in a way na iisipin nila na kaya nila i-contain yung early game ng Bren Esports para makaalabas sila ng mid-game at kung makuha nila yung items sila, tsaka sila lalaban. Are they confident enough to do that? Kung confident sila, gagawin nila yun.
I like the confidence. Yun nga kaya. Pero I like as well the Jawhead ban dito. So for a tank, there is what else is left dito for a tank? At Tigreal is still a thing for Bren Esports. They are one of the teams na gumagamit ng tank na to. So does Few, what are left for Few? Would you think a Valier? Gusto ko Chao. Yes, the Akai. But it's gonna be a Basha. Alright. That works.
Yung mga Kagura nandyan.
Yes, pwede
Pwede
rin.
nila kunin. They can go for, Farsa is out. Chang'o is still there against the Kufra and the Uranus. Maganda yon. Kaya niya maabot si YSS din. Alam mo, nakikita, nababasa ko yung script natin ngayon.
Oo.
And actually, nakikita natin, yung main narrative natin, it's more on the social media post na nagawa
It
nila.
is. It
And
is.
Ako, personally,
crossroad.
natutuwa ako dun sa mga banter. Although, hindi talaga ako yung tipong nagko-comment talaga dun sa mga
Alright.
post na ganun.
Ako, paborito ko yan.
Oh, pero paborito mo yun. Pero I'm trying to look at this game impartial na kahit anong mangyari, I would just base everything off the draft. Pero kasi at times parang, alam mo yun, masarap din gawin yung ginagawa niyo, yung makisali lang, yung maki-enjoy lang.
Basically, hindi siya makisali. It's more on the Raflesia style eh. Yung alam mo
napapromote, yung
promote lang. Natutunan ko yan kay Kuya Raflesia.
Oh
my!
Indonesia special, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes! This is a support Kadita, ladies and gentlemen. Petrify on the spell, definitely. Oh, this is the first time, I think, for MPL Season 6.
Yes. This is something that we've seen from Indonesia. And the guys watching at home right now, I know that you guys are very familiar with this kung napanood nyo yung ginagawa nitong hero na to.
And it's a priority ban sa kanila.
Yes, it's a priority ban doon sa Grand Finals just because it was Lemon from RRQ who was using it. Remember, RRQ Hoshi, ito yung isa sa mga favorite niyang heroes. It's not really, sabihin na lang natin, it's not really the strongest of heroes right now. Hindi siya talaga sobrang lakas na heroes sa ngayong meta. Pero depende pa rin talaga kasi sa gumagamit.
Totoo yan.
Si Lemon kasi yung gumagamit doon, and Lemon, I wonder how.
I wonder why.
Pero talagang ginagamit niya to. And sabi dito nila Coach Daki, sige, ibigay natin sa'yo. Tiwala kami sa'yo, Few.
Yes, yon ang tiwala na binigay ni Coach Ducky dito. Pero sa mga sumusuporta sa NXP Solid, would you think this draft will be the key for them to tie up the series because they already won down dito sa Bren Esports? That's the question, Butters. Umpisa na ang second game.
Let's see how will NXP try to take that one game back. But you do note, ladies and gentlemen, na this is a best of 5. So, hindi nyo pa kailangan, alam mo yun, kung maging 1-1 to, kung maging 2-0 to, it won't really end by game 3. Matatapos lang to, possible ang earliest game, game 3 or game 4?
Yes, game 3 or game 4. Pero kasi, di ba, there is this thing that
Ano yun?
Bren Esports said they want to finish this flawlessly. And NXP Solid, if they could at least chip one win, that would definitely boost their morale.
And tatandaan mo, one win lang. 3-0 ang prediction.
Oo, medyo strong words, pero sobrang strong. Binigyan nila agad dito si Lasty. At ito, yung tubig, pero mas malakas yung tubig ni H2O. That's gonna be an early 2-0 lead para sa NXP Solid. Ito na nga kaya ang pagbawi ng Afi.
So ano nga ba yung opening ng Kadita dito? Even, kaya nga sinasabi na it's not the strongest of heroes in the meta. Kasi kailangan mo makuha yung level 4 mo.
Yes.
Hindi ka kasing consistent as the other supports na nagagawa nila ngayon na onting bato-bato lang, okay na. Ngayon, si Kadita, may requirement siya para maging effective. Yung Breath of the Ocean, yung bilog, yung nag-knock up, hindi ganun ka-reliable yun sa totoo lang eh.
Yes. May
napakahirap ilan dun.
There's a certain time pa before siya mag-pull off. Pero pulling it off, lang PC dito, may takas pa nga naman din, pero half HP na siya dito. Now, it's look like NXP Solid ngayon ang nagdadrive ng tempo dito sa game number 2. And kasama ko isipin mo rin pala, no, yung draft dito ng Bren Esports, medyo mabagal siya sa early game.
And looking at it, madami lang talaga silang panghabol dito kay H2O. And H2O, as long as he's getting those skills, na hanap niya yung farm na gusto niya, I think he's gonna do great. Pero dito naman sa may baba, there is MB and H2O tinitake out yung shields dito sa turret on the bottom lane ng side ng Bren Esports. So if you would look at this, Avarice ang kinuha ni Rebo on that
Barats,
Barats.
yes.
And Barats kasi yung usually kinukuha sa kanya, it's either Avarice, pero ang most common is yung Festival of Blood.
Totoo yan. Totoo yan. Kumbaga, sustain. And that, I believe, the only Barats na nanalo sa atin dito, coming from Dilar, he actually uses Festival of Blood. Pero speaking of blood, madugo ang laban dito. Yung tubig naman ng kabila, ang nawala. Yawi rito, habol Bren Esports, Carl PZ, going in, pero masyadong makunat. Yung Kufra dito, TP out na muna, dalawang miyembro ng NXP Solid.
And Flap, dito hinahanap niya etong si MB. Pero MB doon ay makakapag-recall naman siya. It's not going to be a problem for him. Rebo onto the top side. Talagang maganda yung Avarice dito, especially against Uranus. Kasi ang ginagawa ni Uranus din lumalapit niya sa'yo eh.
Oo.
Eh naka-Avarice siya. So ibig sabihin, patas kayo. Nag-Avarice ka, nag-Avarice siya.
Yes. Pero yun na nga, mukhang makukuha yata dito, Butters, yung first turtle ng Bren Esports, pero contest ang sagot dito. But yung link ang nakakuha doon nung turtle, habol na naman dito sa buong base, papasok NXP Solid, unti-unti silang nadidismantle dito. Flap PC on the other hand, doon sa likod siya yata yung may iwan Lusty. Nako, mali yata ng mga target dito. NXP Solid at least gets 1 kill. Pero I guess, Bren Esports yung medyo nakalamang, or rather, na-tie up nila dito yung network.
Okay, so nakita mo naman yung ginawa dito ng Bren Esports. Hinabol nila diretso si H2O.
Oo.
Ngayon, si H2, wala siya magagawa kasi kailangan niya talaga tumakas. Kasi ang habol sa kanya, si Baksha at saka si Flap. So as long as walang way yung NXP Solid dito, na paghiwalayin yung tatlong yun sa isa't isa, hindi makakahanap ng free hit si H2O dito. Makapag-deal ng damage si H2O, pero dun sa may dalawang pinakamakunat na hero dito sa side ng Bren Esports.
Ang isa pa dito once nakapag-traceless na dito si
automatic
H2O.
GG.
Oo, automatic. Specifically, ang ganda rin ng ginawa kasi talagang denive in siya dito ng mga members from Bren Esports. Pero still, this is an even ball game. Hindi ito katulad nung nangyari ng Game 1. May dikit sa pader. That's gonna be Yawi getting down few. NXP Solid looking very strong on game number 2.
Okay, so ang ganda na ginagawa ng NXP Solid dito, no? Na-utilize na nila dito yung hero ni Yawi. And this is where Yawi actually shines. Yung mga paunti-unting pag-setup ng momentum sa mga initiation, ang ginagawa niya, nag-start siya sa pick-off. Tapos pag nag-start siya sa pick-off, tumataas yung nahuhuli niya. Tapos dun sa may pinakadulo, sa pinaka-crucial, dun sa mga winning games nila with his Kufra, makakahuli siya ng 4, makakahuli siya ng 3, yung mga sobrang crucial talaga na play.
Totoo yan. Pero one thing medyo maganda yung sinabi mo kanina during the pre-game is that ganang-gana ngayon for NXP Solid, yung dalawang side lane nila hindi ma-penetrate ngayon ng Bren Esports.
So, ibig sabihin, hindi din magagawa ng Bren na, natatalo tayo sa may mid lane, nagkakaroon tayo ng problema, taka punta tayo din sa may side lane kasi merong madaling hulihin doon.
Oo.
Hindi ganun eh.
Hindi talaga ganun. Pero ito, another turtle na naman ito. Will Bren Esports once again take this one? That's gonna be the question. Pero may kasana doon si Yawi. Pero medyo malayo yung kanya. Hindi niya magamit yung Tyrant Stage. Another one na naman para kay Lee. Pero H2O, siya yung lumubog. Siya nga yung tubig dito. Pero habol na naman Bren Esports. Sa kanila na yata ang bola. Flat PC might actually go down. Pero si Yawi ang nawala. Bawi dito.
Oh my
3-1 ang nawawala. Sunod pa si Renny J. Almost a wipeout. Is it a wipeout? It may be dahil ang buong miyembro ng NXP ay nabura sa laban na yon.
And ito yung kilala nating Bren Esports, ladies and gentlemen. Isang maling pwesto, kaya nila kayong i-wipeout ng ganun lang. Ito yung sinasabi natin, for NXP Solid to win this series, kailangan malimit nila yung mga positioning mistakes sila katulad neto. They got H2O. Tapos yung takbuhan portion na to, this is where the fun starts for the side of Bren Esports. Kung papansinin mo, yes, kaya sana nila i-take down, pero nakakatakot din kasing bumalik doon just because yung mga items dito na sa side ng Bren Esports, maganda na. Tignan mo nga dito si Flap, naka-toughness boots na siya, naka-deadly blade na siya, and papunta siya doon sa kanyang defensive item. Hindi na siya mangangarap dito kumuha ng offensive item kasi alam niya, this point on, si Carl yung bahala kasi naka-endless battle na siya.
Yes. This is not something na madalas. Yung mga previous na mga link natin, di ba, nagdi-demon hunter sword sila. But this is a more aggressive approach para sa isang link. Endless battle, ladies and gentlemen. Now, yung early lead ng NXP Solid ay unti-unti nang nawawala as Bren Esports are taking the mid game. 3,000 lead sila dito mga tol. And NXP Solid, I guess they still strong on their respective side lanes. Pero yung top mukhang mawawala na din. Pero one thing na maganda pa rin is hindi pa rin nawawalan basta-basta ng buff dito si H2O.
Oo. Yung in terms of map, malaking ano yan eh, malaking statement yan kapag nawawalan ka na ng buff eh. Hindi ka na nakakuha ng buff. Ibig sabihin, yung gubat mo, wala ka ng pagmamayari doon.
Yes. Parang ano eh, total control na ng kalaban nyo.
Pero ito na naman, nakahulihan na naman sila dito. Si Chester ang nahuli.
Ang ganda ng Winter Truncheon doon ni Chester. Pero ang tanong, enough na ba yun? Dahil yung revitalized nila pag doon. Habol dito, look at Black TC. That Black Dragon going inside the base dito ng NXP Solid. Pero may kapalit yon, si Lasty yon. Pero na ngayon, 1:1 ang palitan. Buo parehas. Parehas lamang. Yun yung gusto ko sabihin.
Those are both utilities.
Yes.
So, para sa side ng NXP Solid and Bren Esports, wala talagang totally nakalamang doon. I feel that NXP Solid got the win there. Kasi kung iisipin mo din naman, sila yung nilamangan ngayon eh.
Yun
Ibig
nga
sabihin,
eh.
kahit anong kill na makuha nyo at makipag-trade kayo ng 1-1, automatic, okay yun para sa inyo. Pero ang hindi lang kinaganda doon, nagkaroon ng libreng take yung Bren Esports doon sa turtle.
Yes, it's a total of 3 turtles secured by Bren Esports dito sa laban na to. Now, NXP Solid is back on what they had on game number 1. Though they have a good lead nung early game, medyo wala na yun ngayon. And now, they're back on the drawing board. They need to fix. Though, speaking of late game pala, Butters, would you think NXP Solid could still come back from this one? We could see that Rene J dito, halos hindi pa siya, kumbaga 3-1 siya, kaya niyang i-hold yung lane niya, pero if it comes to worst, Bren Esports, kaya pa rin siya ditong burahin.
And clearly, this is going to be one hard fight at this point for the side of NXP Solid. Mahirap to in a way na kailangan nila maging maingat or maging delicate sobra sa mga next na decisions nila. Kasi nakita na nga natin, isang maling decision na nagawa nila kanina, hindi buo yung loob nila sa turtle. Ang nangyari na wipe out sila bigla.
Totoo yun. And I was seeing here, Yahweh, medyo aside from the pick-off na nagawa nila kanina kay, wow! It's like a bait dito for few. I guess alam niya na may tatalon sa kanya doon. Pero going back, aside doon sa pick-off kanina kay Few, hindi na tayo nakakita na magandang initiation again kay Yahweh.
And the Yahweh factor dito, kailangan natin makita ulit. Ito yung nagsasalba sa mga laro na NXP Solid kapag walang-wala na sila. And tingnan natin kung malalabas ba nila.
Yun nga, dahil hindi nalalabas, dahil papasok bigla doon si Carl, or rather si Flat TC, pero may Winter Truncheon. Si Chester, hindi mo ako basta-basta mabubura, tol. Pero si Lasty yata ang gusto nila ditong puntiryahin, pero makunat ang gulong. Pero may tulong doon sa gitna, Carl TC. Medyo iba-iba yung laban dito, pero yung Torre na lang daw, sabi ng Bren Esports. Nakuha yung mga Torre, pero pasok doon. Pero masakit ang damage doon ni Carl TC. Pero si pasok with a Bread of the Ocean, double kill dito ang Kadita. Inyo bang nakita na halos naubos na ang mga miyembro ng NXP Solid? Isa na lang ang natitira, it's Rene J. Ngayon, ikot-ikot doon. Kaya mo bang depensahan to? Kailangan niya yang gawin dahil matatalo sila pag di niya napatay ang minion wave. Though, nagawa niya yon. Pero ang tanong, aabot ba rito si Chester? Aabot ba dito si Yahweh? Minion wave, nag-spawn na dito, I guess. Bren Esports has to call a day dahil hindi mo na nila to matatapos ngayon.
So umalis sila doon just because hindi nila tinapos kasi wala namang rush eh. Kapag nahuli sila doon ng NXP Solid, na nagstay sila doon at ganun kababa yung mga buhay nila, ibig sabihin magkakaroon yung NXP Solid ng sobrang taas na gold swing papunta sa kanila.
Yes.
Kasi matitake down nila yung isa-isa dito, yung mga nasa side ng Bren Esports. Bren Esports, ginawa nila yung smart move dito. Hindi sila nanggigil. Ang ginawa nila, regroup, wala tayong minions, wala tayong buhay, di naman natin matatapos to. Kung magmamadali tayo dito, mabibigyan nila tayo.
Yes, mabibigyan. And that's very disciplined for Bren Esports. Yes, and props to Renjay. Kasi kailangan niya talaga na i-clear yon. He has to sacrifice himself para dito sa laro na to, or else, for sure, from that moment, talo na ang NXP Solid.
Bren Esports, how do you beat these players kapag ganito yung pinapakita nila? NXP Solid dito, magma-match point nga ba tayo agad? That is the question.
That is really a question. What a better question is, today is yellow day. Kuya Butters.
Totoo ba?
It's the yellow has been winning. ONIC kanina, ngayon ang Bren. Pero ngayon, NXP Solid still trying to hold it on. And Renny J, hindi siya naging successful na manakaw yung Lord. Siya pa yung nawala. Now, it's gonna be a
Nadilaan si H2O.
Nako! Dinura! Tarara! Pero yun na nga, yung H2O ay iba bubura. Sa may likod may winter truncheon. Pero wala pa rin yun dahil wala ka pa din matitira sa iyong buhay. Now, 4 members of NXP Solid are going down. Gawin mo ng 5 dahil ang base nila dito ay mawawala. Pero sabi ng Bren, pipi muna. Pero,
Sila sa gilid. Nakikilay sila, wala silang minion.
Oh my! This is gonna be it. 2-0 match point already for Bren Esports. Magawa nga kaya nila ang kanilang sinabi. 3-0 daw for Bren. That's gonna be the question.
Matutupad nga ba? Yun ang tanong. Matutupad nga ba ng Bren Esports yung propesya, ladies and gentlemen, na 3-0 nila yung NXP Solid dito sa playoffs? Man, oh man. This is going to be hard for the side of NXP Solid. Ginawa nila yung stable side laners and still, hindi naging sapat na adjustment yon para makuha nila yung pacing na gusto nila dito sa laro. Hindi man nakapag-dominate ng sobrang aga dito yung side ng Bren Esports, but you have to realize, Rob, and you have to realize, the viewers at home, na this is the Bren Esports na sobrang nakakatakot.
Yes, and makikita mo, they're totally determined.
Determinado talaga sila,
kasi,
patunayan.
We used to see Carl TC doing risky plays, lalo na pagka ahead sila. Pero from that moment, nag-hold sila eh. They know they could be able to try to finish it off dun sa may top lane, but they hold, they know their lead, they know their winning condition, and they execute it.
That is true, Rob. And man, this is match point for the side of Bren Esports.
Yes, match point indeed. Pero bago namin pag-usapan ni Butters dito, ang posible na mangyari sa game number 3, I think marami pa tayong na-miss out at yon ang for sure na nakita dito ng ating solo analyst, Rockhart. Anong meron dyan?
Yes po, opo. Pero sabi po, hindi. Sige po, opo. Sabi ko po. Sige po, salamat po, sir. Alam niyo kung sino yun siguro, no? Welcome back here, solo analyst segment here for MPL Season 6 Playoffs, Bren Esports laban sa NXP. Dung game 2 na yon, it looked promising. I have to say, it really looked promising, especially in the first part of that matchup. NXP really did look like they were back on form. H2O on the Yisan Shin. Maganda resulta niyan ever since nung regular season. Yawi back on the Kufra, napagandang performance. And MB, nung nung start nung match na yun, nasa mga narrow corridor siya nag-last insanity, perfect. Pero overall, Bren Esports, they took back control really quickly. Here on item builds, you'll see the 309 on Carl TZ, hindi na siya yung naging superstar dito. Si Ribo na. Si Ribo at si Few. Few using the very underrated Kadita that was shown in the MPL Indo finals nung nakaraan lang din. At nagamit nila to in a very, very, very strong manner. Especially Ribo on the... Actually, ngayon lang ulit ako nakita ng Barats na nag-perform ng ganito. Yung mga naalala nyo ba yung Barats nung una lumabas yan? Parang Eagles, diba? Parang yung mga nagmumuha na teams. Parang, okay, ban natin, first pick natin. Pero, ang baba ng win rate. Ito yung example ng Barats na kailangan nyo tignan, mga kaibigan. Very beautifully done, I would say. Again, the rest of NXP really did. They had a plan. They had a plan. The plan was to win. Sabi ni Boss Wood. Pero the plan didn't really go to mind. And if we go to the post-game stats, post-match data, rather, it was not, hindi na to yung katulad ng mga ibang matches na nakita natin na sobrang nakaw sa buffs, no? Medyo mas quit sila sa buffs ngayon. Mas magandang control ni H2O on the Yisan Shin to get those buffs, to keep them on the side of NXP. Pero overall, hindi na yun yung naging focus ng Bren, no? Iba na yung naging focus ng Bren. Ang focus ng Bren is to go for the lanes themselves. Make sure na lalamang si Ribo, lalamang si Flap, and of course, si Few makahanap ng mga targets using Ocean, the Breath of the Ocean, and the Rough Waves. Napakagandang performance nung pickups nila noon. And of course, overall macro control for Bren Esports is hindi mo din naman mapapatawad in terms of objectives naman, no? And this is a very good example of just tower taking capability sa baling. 'Di ba? Ito yung link na to, tingnan mo yung damage niya. Hindi sa hindi dito eh. Hindi siya dito eh. Dito siya, mga kaibigan. Diyan sa tower damage, siya ang halos siya nga lang yung umubos nung torre, siya yung turret taker ng Bren Esports. Grabe naman 'yan. And that's just one of the powers of a league. Hindi siya laging kailangan pang teamfight. Pwede siyang pangkuha ng mga torre at pwede din siyang gamitin to just bait your opponents around the map and make sure you get the objectives time and time again. Going into the highlights of this game, this is a good way to show it, no? It's basically for objective taking. That was a great way to secure the objectives. Tempest of Blades. Habang lumilipad ka, di ba? Doon ka pwede mag-retry. Yun ang ginawa ni Carl TZ as well. And again, hindi siya yung unang pumapasok. Siya lang yung tagalinis at ang tagabawas dito. Grabe, yung tangke sa harapan, si Ribo. Kasama sila few. And overall, that was actually a very good example yung sinabi ko, yung mga explosive na play ni MB dun sa mga narrow corridor. Pero hindi sapat yung damage na accumulate nung kanyang X-Borg para ma-overwhelm talaga yung Bren Esports. Kahit dikit-dikit sila, tinitiis pa rin ng Bren, and they have a lineup na kayang gumawa. Look at this beautiful Breath of the Ocean from Few. Nadali niya si H2 nasa likod. Nasa likod lang, nagtatago lang sa likod, and he still had that shot to do it because again, the flexibility and the mobility ng isang Kadita. Overall, I really like what Bren did in the later parts of this game. Look at this. Hindi nakuha sa replay. Pero nung nahuli ni Ribo, H2, nahuli niya using Detona's Welcome. I think that was it. That signaled the end in that game for NXP. And still gonna be MVP for this game is Carl TZ. Hindi dahil dun sa 309 KDA niya. Mas mataas KDA ni Ribo, di ba? Pero he did almost all of the building damage, which is of course, ito naman talaga yung pinaglalaroan natin dito sa MLBB. And overall, that was just how you could do it. You could swap out yung focus, ibato niyo yung focus dun sa sa carry, di ba? Yung ginawa ng Bren Esports. Pero ang hindi nila napapansin is yung damage output din talaga rest of the team. Nakadita, pati nga yung Barats tangke na talagang masakit din ang bawas. Yun ang nangyari sa match. Ito, MVP of course, Carl TZ is no doubt. Now the match, after that Savage, talaga sabi niya, you know what, let's keep this ball rolling. Huwag tayo mamatay. Support Bren Esports. Send kayo ng message sa kanila. Let them know that they are doing a good job so far in making sure na kaya nilang panindigan. Yung sinabi nilang, mangti 3-0 sila. Pero, kung nasa kabilang side ka naman, you wanna give NXP a lot of encouraging words. Get them to a game 5 para matuwa yung tumawag sa akin kanina. Kasi baka magalit. Pag nagalit yan, mahirap na. Scan that QR code mga tol. Support NXP as well. And of course, kung manonood kayo ng MLBB guys, doon tayo sa official. Right there on the official MLBB Facebook page. fb.com/mplph.official. Scan those QR codes as well to go to a survey where you will get a chance to win rewards din. Para naman, habang nanonood kayo, may nakuha din tayo from these codes. Look at that. Check those surveys. Go to the surveys. Just fill out a few stuff. You get rewards already. That's already a big bonus. Bonus na lang yun sa isa sa mga pinakamalupit na mga laban na nakita natin dito sa MPL. And of course, syempre dahil kayo yung mga malulupit na manonood, si Munto, napakabait din. Giveaway codes right there. Bottom of your screens, go ahead. Go to the redeem page for Mobile Legends. I-type nyo na mabilisan. Yung mga mabilis mag-typerist. Mga typerist dyan, i-type nyo na yan. Get the redeem codes. Get the rewards into your accounts. Diba naman? Diba naman? Another bonus code, isang mabilis. Go ahead. I would take that if I could. But I can't. That's okay. Para sa inyo yan, guys. Unahan nyo na. Yung iba, baka maunahan pa kayo ng iba dyan. And there you go, another bonus code for the Mythical Raffle Draw. Dahil ang dami talagang sumali. Napakadaming sumali ng Mythical Raffle Draw natin. May mga nanalo na kanina, guys. Hindi pa yun ang huli, ha? By the way, go to the Mythical Raffle Draw. Check it out. And of course, comment nyo din yung supportan nyo dito sa streams natin. Whew! Napakainit. Match point na agad tayo. Anong oras pa lang binawi yung mga nangyari kahapon That's very interesting, no? Let's go ahead and go to our match point panel. Let's try to discuss what is happening here and what can possibly happen in the next match between Bren and NXP.
Lista mo na 3-0. Totoo yan. Yan ang sinabi ni Ribo at si Few. At yung combination nila ng Barats at Kadeta came in big for Bren Esports, securing that 2-0 victory over NXP. Match point na. One more game. If matalo ang NXP, laglag na sila sa ating playoffs. Ako po si Reptar, panel host for today. Ching Valdez, Midnight, still here. And Chin, man, 2-0, it's tough. It's really tough for NXP. Bren Esports, they were strong in the regular season. Hindi yun nawala dito sa playoffs natin.
Well, it's really simple lang. Remember our keys to victory? They didn't hit any of it. Like, any of it. Una-una, I think the very first key to victory nun for NXP was I think the very first key to victory for NXP doon kanina sa listahan natin was their draft. Kailangan sobrang galingan nila yung draft nila. So far sa nakikita natin, it's the same. 'Di ba? From game 1 to game 2, ganun pa rin yung drafting nila. Kumbaga yung mismong direction ng draft nila is still the same. Isa pa sa mga keys to victory natin dyan is the Assassins of Carl TZ. Imbes na, instead of denying Carl TZ's Assassins, nabaliktad pa. Okay, si H2O pa yun, wala ng assassin, napilitan pa siya mag-YSS, and Carl TZ was able to get his Ling. And then, siguro yung third point ko lang, isa pang key to victory din is, hindi sila tumambling. I'm sorry, well, it was there, you know, I mean, it was there in the keys to victory. So, I don't know, like, if, pero hindi, siguro jokes aside, kung meron silang secret weapon, or if ever, baka wala silang secret weapon, they should have had one. You know, kasi so far sa nakikita natin, it's the same trick from a regular season, and then now it's the playoffs. It's David versus Goliath, but you're still holding a slingshot.
Yep.
Although, well, technically, the slingshot beat Goliath, pero I don't know, baka Bren is not Goliath pala. Baka mamaya
It's something more.
It's something
It's
more.
something more.
Titan no?
Titan talaga eh.
Alam mo, maraming magsasabi na yung mga comments natin about NXP is kind of bash or negative criticisms towards NXP. Pero these are the things that they need to consider. Kasi just look at this draft. Look at this first game draft. This is the first game, diba? What does Carmilla do here? None. Like literally none. He does nothing against the Thams. He does nothing against the Lancelot. Does nothing against Selena. Does nothing against Export. Why would you pick Carmilla here? Is it because sinasabi ng ibang teams na basang-basa na sila? Okay, magpasok tayo ng bagong hero. Okay, Carmilla. Well, nagamit nila to once ng qualifiers, pero that time may reason bakit magandang Carmilla. It was against an Atlas, diba? And the nature of Atlas is kapag diniktan nyo, it was a draft meant for the Atlas comp. So itong draft naman ng NXP ngayon, hindi ko makita yung sense ng Carmilla. I get it, Carmilla Ling combination, that's nice. Dagdag mo pa yung Alice. Pero kung iisipin mo yung combination na yan, you're against Bren Esports. You need to think about, okay, itong combination na to, anong ko-contra dito? Number one, main problem pa nga lang ni Ling si Xborg, ang laki na niyan di ba? One big problem that Ling faces against an Xborg is the team fight aspect. Kapag wala ka ng ultimate, you respect the Xborg ultimate. Literal na hanggat nandun yung Xborg, hindi ka pwedeng pumasok sa team fight. Why? Yung sunog niya may slow, so you need to get out, get the hell out.
Yeah.
At kapag wala kang ulti, okay, wala na akong gagawin, goodbye teammates, di ba? So, dun pa lang, may problema na sila. So, you needed a team fight hero. Okay, Chester, hindi siya naka-support hero dito. Nag-akay siya. Okay, medyo dual tank yung comp ng NXP. Where's the team fight? Could have picked up any other hero that can present team fight. For the love of God, kahit na yung Lolita sana pinasok nila Kahit yung Lolita man lang. It's good against Selena, good against Xborg. Asan yung Lolita? Lolita ni Chester. We've seen that against Blacklist International, I believe. He performed very well. And Lolita would have been enough on this composition. It had team fight. It had team fight potential. Has pick-off potential alongside the Ling. And can provide what the Ling lacks. Yung presence sa team fight. Kasi nga, re-respeto mo yung Xborg. Come second game, yung sinabi ni Chin kanina, that's real. Force Carl TZ on YSS. They banned out all assassins Roger Lancelot tinanggal ng Bren, and you pick
Yung
up...
H2O on the Wise.
Yeah, di ba? And you pick up, what? Uranus? Why? Di ba? Parang, walang sense eh. Although, it's a nice hero to have, it's a good offlaner,
Yeah.
there are a lot of still offlaners out there. Andiyan pa si Khalid. 'Di ba? Andiyan pa yung mga reserve mo, sila Xborg, lumusot nga eh. 'Di ba? And Bren Esports sabi nila, okay, ayaw niya ayaw niya magling kunin namin straight up yung ling. Tapos dagdagan natin ng Barats.
Yeah, and it's like we're also seeing here, just even from the draft ng game number 1, is Bren Esports, sa daming games that they're involved with, especially for MOBAs, they prioritize the draft. If you're gonna draft against Bren, expect to throw out everything that you have in a draft. Kasi no matter how prepared you are, it's gonna be so hard to pull off a great draft against him. I mean, okay, along with the points that you mentioned in the Game 1 draft, the fact that they just gave away that, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first pick, or the first 3 picks was the Selena to the Few, which we saw throughout the regular season was really great. Nakita natin in that game, parang may auto-tracking na yung pana niya eh. Pero Bizzle Arrow kept hitting.
Wala eh, parang may magnet yung...
may
magnet na kasama yung...
Sa iba naka SBAIM 9999 yan. CL client trace pa yan.
Ito mind you, they're not even the best drafting team. Bren Esports is not the best drafting team. I'll give that to Blacklist and Omega. Nakita naman natin kahapon yung drafting battle nung dalawa. Even the solo analyst, sinasabi nila, draft battle dan. If you're against those teams, they dance around you. Actually, nung Blacklist International versus Nexplay, solid nung regular season, ang dami nagsasabi na, ay parang basang-basa talaga ng Blacklist yung Nexplay. You know why? They let Nexplay play the best heroes kasi yun yung pinaghandaan nila.
Right.
So, if you're against those teams, nakakatakot yun. And to twist the story here, if NXP did that, let's say they pick up Ling, di ba? Pwede nilang isipin na, okay, anong natitirang heroes ni Cartesi? Dalawa lang, 1-1 and the Roger. Unless magpasa sila ng bagong hero dito. For the entirety of regular season, those 4 or 5 heroes, yung nilaro ni Cartesi. Any other than that, new meta na yun, or bagong strategy, or adjustment na that can come out from Bren. But that is the thing na hinahanap natin sa NXP. Yung ganong factor. These are professional teams, they're warranted to do that. And they picked up Uranus for no reason at all.
Yeah, and in game 2, even though nakuha ng NXP, especially for H2O, he got his YSS, sure, Yawi nakuha din niya yung Kufra niya. Because of how it was just set up in the draft for both teams, despite the comfort, despite na okay, yun nga yung hero gusto nila individually, how does it mesh as a team? It really just seems like that's the biggest problem here for NXP. Bren, gumagawa ng draft na tinignan mo as a macro, yes, they all work. Individually, they all work rin. NXP individually, okay, masaya yung players, but then pag tinignan mo yung macro, parang may kulang.
Yeah. Alam mo, to be honest, simple lang yung solution ng NXP. Identity lang. Recognize your own identity. Kasi if you know, as a team, kung si Doggy or si Yolo, diba, titignan yung next play, okay, kailangan talaga natin ng assassin kay H2O. You prioritize those assassins. And a lot of the MPL teams do that. Alam nila kung saan sila mahina, alam nila kung saan sila malakas. Bren is a very fine example. They recognize na kapag naipit sila kay Cartesi on specific set of heroes, they adjust on other heroes to fit that to solve that problem.
Yeah. So there, Chin, put it there perfectly. Keys to victory lang. NXP has to stick and achieve those keys to victory. They haven't been doing that. And kulang. And we are seeing it 2-0. Is this a 3-0 for Bren Esports? Or will NXP start showing up the secret tactics na baka hinihintay na lang nila, okay, it's time, labasin na natin. We don't know, but we shall see. Here's game number 3. It's Bren and NXP.
Thank you so much to our panel, Reptar, Midnight, of course, Chin Valdez. Ang tanong, parang di ko nakitang tumawag yung daddy ni Chin eh. So, is it gonna be a time for NXP Solid to come back from this game? What do you think, Butters?
Tumawag kay Rockhart.
Ay, kay Rockhart tumawag.
Tumawag kay Rockhart.
So, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is already match point nga, gaya ng sinabi ng ating panel. And they were specifically saying that I guess kailangan nga nila iipitin probably si Carl into the YSS. But for NXP Solid, what do you think should have they done? They had almost the lead. Like around 2 to 3 minutes, they took 2 kills right off the bat papunta sa Bren. Pero suddenly, biglang nawala yung lead.
Okay. So napapanood ko kasi kanina, ang ganda talaga ng start nung ginawa ng NXP. Yung start nila, nakakuha sila ng 2 kill. Na-punish nila yung ina-attempt na pagpasok ng Bren Esports papunta sa gubat nila. But the problem was, kapag ka kasi yung rotation mo nasira just because of a few rotations din, or sabihin natin, a few adjustments na ginagawa ng Bren Esports, nasabi na natin to kanina, hindi ka naglalaro sa larong gusto mo.
Yeah.
Naglalaro ka sa laro na sineset-up ng kalaban. So, ibig sabihin, at that point on, naglaro yung Bren Esports dun sa gustong mangyari ng Nexplay. Yung Nexplay dito, pinarusahan sila. But from there on out, it was all about Bren Esports. Not really adjusting anything. Inayos lang nila na hindi sila magiging aggressive kasi alam nila na may advantage na agad si H2O in terms of damage kasi nakakuha siya ng kills. Pero, at the end of the day, nagawa pa rin nila yung sila gawin. Si Yuzhong at si Ling, pupunta dun sa may si Yuzhong o si Baxia, pupunta sa may pinakalikod. Hahabulin si H2O. Si H2O, yung advantage na nakuha niya ng early game, hindi niya na mata-turn into damage. Kasi yung dalawang kaharap niya, yun yung mga pinakamakukunat na hero sa side ng Bren Esports.
Yeah, totally. And what's another thing din for the YSS kanina, talagang hirap siya. Kita naman natin, it's not only the Basha rolling papunta sa kanya, yung Black Dragon, tapos even Few. Using the oddity, papasok talaga sa kanya, petrifying him, Breath of the Ocean, tuloy-tuloy. Pero going back ngayon dito mga kaibigan, for our game number 3 draft, almost the same yung ginawa na banning dito for the first game ng NXP Solid. They went back onto it, Uranus and Barats. Meanwhile, Bren Esports, walang kailangan baguhin. They've had a stellar performance sa first 2 games. Pero NXP Solid removing the link. So, are they willing to, well, they're still the Lancelot, pero what's gonna be the first pick dito for Lost League?
Selena.
Oh,
I think it's
rather
the
for
Selena. Ayun, parang actually nagulat nga sila parang ba't yung binigay na naman yung Selena?
Yes.
Diba?
Well, probably it's part doon sa ano nila kasi pag kinuha agad dito ng Bren, yan, nakuha ngayon nila dito yung possible na maging hero dito ni Carl TZ.
Okay, so nakikita niyo dun sa may side naman na NXP Solid, they got the Lance. And I think yung adjustment na sinasabi ng panel natin kanina was achieved dito sa game number 3. Kinuha na nila yung assassin dito ni H2. And tinanggal nila yung assassin ni Carl Z. So, that Esmeralda is good. Sabihin natin, stable. Stable na side laner yan. Hindi mo talaga matatanggal yan sa sirkulasyon ng mga side laner. Kasi nga, isa yan sa mga most banned heroes natin dito sa MPL-PH Playoffs.
Totoo. Ang maganda pa pala dito, no, Butters, is that nagdi-denian ngayon ang dalawang team ng hero. Bren Esports denying the Kufra dito, of course, of Yawi. Pero Yawi still has an answer on the name of this Jawhead. But look at how NXP Solid is banning. They're removing heroes na possible na gamitin dito ni Carl. What else ang naiiwan dito for Carl? Carl is one of the players for Bren who's been using Marksman. Not only the YSS, he actually been using 1-1. Meron, I think there also a game na gumamit sila ng carry or was it Doc Ribo na nagpalit sila? I think that was Doc Ribo. Nag-Carmilla yata noon si Carl. Pero it's clear to us that NXP Solid is trying to neutralize the heroes of Carl TC. Meanwhile naman, still Bren Esports has one target. Of course, that's H2O and possibly support heroes na pwede kay Chester.
Okay, so inayos na ng NXP Solid dito yung banning nila. Tinutok na nila sa isang tao. Kasi nakita nila sa Carl kanina, sobrang hitik na hitik talaga makakuha ng kills
Oo.
Talagang parang at will ginagawa lahat ni Carl kasi sobrang komportable nung draft setup na ginagawa ng Bren Esports dito. For the side of NXP Solid, this is a welcome change for them.
Yes.
I would have preferred, sabihin na natin, mas gugustuhin ko sana na ginawa nila to nung game number 2. Pero at least ginawa nila ng game number 3. At least may expect tayo sa kanila na possible na gumanda yung ikot nila dito. Just because hindi na nila kumbaga, ni-recognize na nila, problema natin si Carl. Yun lang.
Yes, problema natin si Carl, siya yung pahirapan natin this game number 3. And looking very strong dito ngayon ang mga pick ng NXP Solid. MB's Yuzong, I think isa yan sa mga hero na working well for them. So does Esmeralda. Pero here comes the Leo Mord. We've seen a Leo Mord game yesterday. That was from Signal Ultra. Kung di ako nagkakamali. The Angela and Leo Mord. Tama ba? Oh, yeah, I guess that was Signal Ultra.
Okay. So, ito yung sinasabi natin na na-realize na din ng Bren Esports dito na they do have their own playstyle din na ginagawa nila and they have these big guns. Yung mga malalaking bala nila na pwede nila ditong ilabas sa NXP Solid para makuha talaga nila yung 3-0 na pinangako nila sa mga fans nila.
Yes. At kay Barbiel na ba ang sagot?
Phantom Steed nga ba ang sagot?
Phantom Steed nga ba ang sagot? Pero there's something to note here on Bren Esports lineup right now, mga kaibigan, is that this is all physical, aside of course from the Selena, pero that's only a single target type of assassin na mage. Pero meanwhile naman for NXP Solid, this is still a complex draft. I remember na ginawa to ng NXP Solid, their dual tank setup na sobrang dominant specifically on the early game. This is the Hilda and the Jawhead na talagang manggugulo lang, mang-i-invade. And basically, dito sa team ng Bren Esports, probably yung purple mapupunta kay Few. And Carl TC will be the one to take the orange buff, medyo split. This is a different style na papakita sa atin ng Bren Esports, but this kind of draft ng NXP Solid, they have done this and they were successful in this draft.
Okay. So, NXP Solid right now, for the fans, bigyan lang namin kayo ng nangyayari talaga dito. NXP Solid is fighting for tournament life.
Yes.
Pag matalo yung NXP dito, out na sila sa playoffs. For Bren Esports, they're looking good kahit matalo sila dito ng 2 straight, they still have game number 5 to actually look forward to at para ma-level to. So, NXP Solid, ladies and gentlemen, mahaba-haba pa yung gagawin nila ditong pagbawi kung gusto talaga nila makapasok dun sa next round ng ating tournament. And that is the current state ng series natin, ladies and gentlemen. Pumasok na tayo sa Celestial Palace para makita natin kung ano nga ba ang magiging resulta netong game number 3.
Yes, ano nga kaya ang resulta dito, mga kaibigan? Game number 3, Bren Esports laban sa NXP Solid. They need to bounce back dito, mga kaibigan, or else this might be their last match dito sa MPL Season 6. Now, going back dito, Butters, look like NXP Solid medyo maganda yung start nila dito. I guess Bren Esports are not really looking on into getting buff dahil alam nila nagugulo-guluhin lang sila paulit-ulit dito ng NXP Solid. Pero Yawi dito nangalahati agad ang kanyang buhay, pero flicker out, still alive. Now, ano kaya? Gaano nga kaya ang ipapakita na panggugulo dito ng mga miyembro ng NXP Solid on the jungle ng Bren Esports?
Nakita mo ginawa ni Ribo doon? Ginamit niya yung fire sticks.
Oo.
Tapos hinatak niya yung crab para mag-reset.
Totoo. Yeah, that was an intelligent play coming from Doc Ribo doon sa may negating the crab para dito kayo kay Energy. Those small details no? Ang laki nang naidudulot doon kung paulit-ulit. Diba? Pero speaking of paulit-ulit, makukuha kaya ba dito ni Yawi ang orange buff? Yes, it is. Pero may habol. Nandun si Ribo with the fire missile. Pero yung arrow na tumama, yun ang magiging kawawa dahil nawala doon si Yawi.
Okay, so ano ginagawa ng NXP Solid dito? Na-realize nila na, Leomord, kailangan ng ulti. May option tayo lumaban as early as pagka umabot siya ng level 4, medyo mahihirapan na tayo. So, ang gawin natin, pressurein natin siya ng level 1 to 3.
Yes, and yun nga yung ginagawa ng NXP Solid. Since Carl TC dito still, well, now level 4 na siya rito. This type of hero talaga still needs item. And as well, pumaalala din pala natin on the game yesterday, it was also a Lancelot versus a Leomord. And alam natin na nahirapan yung Lancelot against a Leomord dito. Phantom Steed will be used. May tulak pabalik kay Rene J, pero kaya bang patumbahin? Yun ang tanong. Pero dun sa may taas, nawala si Flap TC, hindi pa sila tapos, si Few ang isusunod, pero yung gulo ng bola, inyong makikita, out na muna dito, Lusty and Few.
Nakikita mo si H2 doon, medyo talagang tinitignan niya kung kaya niya pa eh. Talagang tinatansya niya. Sabi niya, kaya ko pa kaya to? Parang gusto niya eh. Parang may gusto siyang gawin talaga at that point. Pero it's a good sign din for NXP Solid na medyo nagiging maingat dito si H2O. But in terms of confidence, I think medyo masama rin yun para sa kanila. Kasi yung H2O na kilala natin talaga kapag ka-confident na confident, walang takot eh.
Oo, walang takot. Agresibo kung agresibo. Pero ang mas agresibo ngayon dito ang Bren Esports. Pero ang nawala, yung dalawa dun sa NXP Solid at ang Turtle, nakuha pa nung ating kabayo doon sa may likod. NXP, Yawi, binato pa paloo pero may bawi naman. Flap TC ang nawala. Now, that's gonna be a 3-1 and mukhang Bren Esports na naman ang lamang.
Bakit naging sobrang confident ni Cardsy doon na kahit wala siyang buhay, pinilit niyang pasukin yun?
Oo.
Kasi, kung papansin niyo, ladies and gentlemen, yung Turtle mamamatay na. And he had the retribution up. So, ibig sabihin, kung hindi man siya makakuha ng lifesteal, may extra protection siya from the turtle buff.
Totoo.
So, ang ginawa niya, pinasok niya, at nung nakita niya pwede i-retry niya. So, dalawang stat ang nakuha niya. May lifesteal at may shield. Galing sa turtle protection buff.
Totoo. And given na killing spree pa yung kanyang emblem dito. So, meaning, once na makapatay lang dito si Carl TC, he can be able to sustain the team fight. And now, NXP Solid dito, this is their game. I mean, the early game is for NXP Solid, pero Bren Esports is slowly climbing the ladder, mga kaibigan, dahil mukhang sila pa yata ang mas nakakalamang dito sa umpisa ng laro. Yung arrow, tumama na naman, but that's gonna be a heal dahil hindi to papasukin definitely ng Bren Esports. Ano na nga kaya ang kailangan gawin? Pero ang ganda nun, merong patulong doon, si Lasty yata ang mawawala. Pinag-mintes yung ulti, pero okay lang yon dahil hindi naman siya namatay doon. Carl TC, habol doon kay H2O, pero nandito yung tropa niya na si MV. Yung dragon doon, yun ang magpapapatay. Carl TC, masyado ka ng malalim, ikaw tuloy ang nabura.
Ito yung kailangan natin bantayan. Maganda yung nag-iingat si H2O. Kasi kung confident siya dun sa play na yon, malamang sa malamang, tumapak siya dun malapit sa range nung ulti ni Rusty. At tumama siya dun sa may pader. Pero dahil naging confident nga si Cardsy, pumasok siya dun para i-take yung kill kay H2.
Yes,
At dahil din na hindi niya dinatan siya kung anong kaya niyang gawing damage doon, respondehan siya ng 2 o 2 tao pa sa side ng Nexplay Solid.
Yes. At yun din yung madalas na nagiging sakit. Pero mamaya na yan, tol. Dahil dito, yung Lancelot ang makakuha ng pagong. Pero yun na pa, habol na naman sila dito. Look at Renny J, been able to sustain dito. Bren Esports, mukhang bawi na yata. NXP Solid, now going in sa Bren Esports. Ilista nyo na ba? Yun ang akala nyo. Dahil kayo ang mabubura. 3 miyembro ng Bren ang nawala.
Ito yung NXP Solid na sumasabog eh. Ito yung NXP Solid na kayang-kaya nila mag-take ng mga fight at pipiliin nila yung mga tamang fight para sa kanila. And this is the NXP Solid na nakikita natin na nanalo doon sa may regular season. As you can see here, Renny J had access doon kay Cardsy. Ito ba rin naman isa sa mga pinaka-problema kay Leo Mord eh.
Yeah.
Kung hindi mabababa yung buhay ng kalaban, yung clean up at the early game, hindi rin ganun kaganda. And at the same time, ang dali lang din hulihin talaga ng isang Leo Mord. Tatandaan natin na kung Yison Shin sinasabi natin na isa yung dash niya at nare-refresh lang, ito talaga literal isang dash lang.
Literal isang dash lang regardless na nakakabayo pa siya, hindi siya ganon kabilis tumakbo. Pero yun na nga mga tol. Like what Butter said, wala yung 30% for the passive ng isang Leo Mord. H2O, kaya ba siya ditong patayin? Pero the Thorn Rose, medyo bubuhayin siya doon. Rivo dito mga kaibigan, low HP pero may immortality pa nga naman din. Will they be able to steal this purple buff? I guess wag na dahil masyado na tong malalim. NXP Solid dito mga kaibigan, surprisingly coming back from this game 3.
Okay. So gumana dito yung setup nila na Esmeralda, Renny J at H2O Lance. Nakita natin kung paano naghihirap yung Bren Esports dito since tinarget nila si Cardsy. And Cardsy ngayon, 2 beses siya nahuhuli dito. Yung isa dahil siya ay nagasim at yung pangalawa dahil nahuli siya ng NXP Solid. And this is the thing na gusto mo makita sa NXP Solid kung NXP fan ka at talagang gusto mo sila makabawi. This is the form na talagang hindi sila magpapatalo.
Hindi nga yata talaga ang magpapatalo, Kuya Butters. Pero si Chester nahuli doon sa likod. Out na ba for NXP? Yun na nga. Pero one thing pala, no, Kuya Butters, hindi natin masyadong pinapansin. Si Renny J. 202 KDA. At talagang may palag. Huli ba dito? Fandom execution out. Lusty, medyo malalim. Ipapunish ba ng NXP?
Si Rene J naman kasi ngayon, yung galaw niya, he wants to stay in lane at saka 1v1 lang. Kasi yun yung avarice na tinatawag natin eh.
Oo.
It's the avarice factor na gusto mo muna kunin yung cap gold na makukuha, gold cap na makukuha mo dyan before ka talaga totally lumaban. Pero dahil nga maganda yung start ni Rene J, ngayon pa lang lumalaban na siya agad at nahuli nila si Few dito.
Oo.
This is big for the side of NXP.
Sobrang big nun. Dahil ang big na rin nung shield doon. Look at Rene J, para nakaglutan na yan, tol. Hindi na niya kayang mawala. Nako, Lasty, tumakbo, takbo ka na. Dahil papasok na yan, bigla. Rene J, killing spree. Ano kayo ngayon, mga tol? Yawi. Now, NXP solid. This is looking very strong. Mukhang hindi yata matutuloy ang mga hula. Naiwan pa yung kabayo doon. Naku po, mukhang ginawang tapa na lang din. Talon doon with a falling star moon. Ubos, pati pantubos. Pero nandito, last insanity ni Kuya Moribo. Ang sakit, yung tubig, inapuyan. Pasma ang nangyari. Pero Rene J, hahabol sila doon. Pero disiplina lang, tol. Kaya natin to.
And that is going to be Bren Esports. Sinagot na nila yung pressure na dinadala ng NXP Solid dito. Parang sinabi lang na, teka lang, masyado ata kayo naging agresibo, nakalimutan niyo kung ano yung kaya namin gawin. Kaya nilang makakita ng mga maliliit na pagkakamali at kaya nila palakihin yon. And yun yung pinakita nila sa NXP Solid. So NXP Solid, nasa kanila man yung labang, kailangan nila maging maingat.
Kailangan nila talaga. This is by far yung the lead na nakuha ng NXP Solid.
The biggest lead.
The biggest lead indeed. And they don't want to give it up. Nasa kanila na to, mga tol. Sa mga sumusuporta sa NXP Solid, ito na nga kaya ba ang bawi nila for Bren Esports.
Tignan natin, wala pang Blade of Despair dito, yung side ni Kartzi ha. So that is Rebo. That was a very good Last Insanity.
Last Insanity para sa wala. Pero na yung Dragon dito, medyo hindi makapagwala. Rene J nagmintis doon sa kanyang Falling Star Moon. Pero si Chester, masyadong makulit. Pasok doon. Yung si Lasty, tumalon. Walang tinamaan, mga tol. Rest Chester. Naku po, sino bang kukuha ng purple buff? And that's gonna be Rene J. Now, walang namamatay. Nagkaubusan lang ng skill. Pero I think NXP pa din ang lamang.
Si Yawi dito, nabigyan ni Pio.
Oo, no? Si Yawi, naawi.
And Rene J dito, wala siyang gap close. So, automatic makikipaglaro si Pio dito. And gusto lang ni Pio dito makatama talaga ng arrow. Tingnan natin kung mabibigyan siya. Naku! Rene J, tinamaan.
Tinamaan nga talaga. Pero makunat pa rin naman yan. Falling Star Moon na naman. Pero ito mga kaibigan. NXP Solid, though, na-pick off doon si Yawi, they are still on the lead. Dahil si H2O, ang ganda ng laro. Pero si Chester doon, though wala pa yata siyang power of wilderness. That's the reason na hindi pa masyadong masakit ang damage ng Hilda. Now, Rebo dito, medyo hinuhold na. Wala na siyang Firaga. Kaya pa kaya. Iniikutan na ngayon ng NXP Solid, they might want to try to take a Lord.
Actually, ngayong sinabi mo, na-realize ko din na si Chester pala, kahit maganda na yung start nila, 1-1-0 siya dito. So that means, hindi niya nakuha yung stack sa ultimate niya.
Oo.
So yung damage output niya, ngayon, is base damage plus 1 stack.
Yes, 1 stack at kailangan mo ng 8, kulang pa sila ng 7. And for in this kind of state of game, mukhang malabo na mangyari yun.
Kasi kung nakuha niya yung 7, yung 7 na yun ng mas maaga, baka kahit nga si Feud, manakbo na sa kanya.
Oo, masasaktan talaga with pag in-spam mo yung 3 na yon from the Hilda. Pero, eto na, ngayon mga kaibigan, Kuya Butters, match point for NXP Solid.
Bren.
Match point for Bren. Pero, mukhang ang NXP Solid, hindi sila bibigyan ng easy way papuntang semifinals.
Okay, so tingnan natin dito. This is going to be a key factor para sa pagkapanalo ng NXP Solid. Bren Esports, hindi nila pwede ibigay ito.
Hindi talaga nila pwedeng ibigay. Pero dahil meron ditong mabibigyan, MP dito may hinahanap yung Dragon. Sino nga kaya yon, mga tol? Sinong unang mabubura? Medyo sustain ang laban ng bawat isa. Pero yung Dragon Tail nagpaangat ng 3, pero walang namatay. Ganon kalupit ang mga players natin dito, mga kaibigan. They're realizing their strong and weak points. Pero still, Chester dito, going in doon sa purple buff, ayaw nilang bigay ito kay Carl. But still, nakuha niya yun. Now,
Okay.
look at H2. Pero dito sa laban na to, mga tol, nanggugulo sila dito. They're trying to zone
Oh,
pero
no.
tumulong na. Nandito na yung Lancelot. Pero si Wilda muna yung nawala. Sino ang bawal?
Nawala si H2!
Nawala nga talaga. Pero may pabalik. Naku po. Renny J yata gonna be the savior for NXP. Yun nga kaya. Pero yung dalawang
Saan na?
miyembro, the TZ Brothers, here we go! Anong ginagawa mo rito, Esmeralda MB? Nag-dragon ka pa, umuwi ka na!
And that is a costly mistake for the side of NXP Solid. Lord, ang mapupunta dito sa side ng Bren Esports. H2O. Nahagip siya ng sobrang dami skill sa gitna na hindi na nga natin siya nakita na lumabas sa Phantom Execute. Bakit tuluyan na siya naglaho?
Oo, nabura siya doon. I was thinking doon na they're just using it na mag-zone kasi nakita ko si H2O trying to chip down the Lord. Pero mukhang in-all-in nila. Look at here on the Gillette instant replay, mga kaibigan. Pasok doon, Chester, siya yung unang nawala. They've been consistent on trying to get that purple buff pero medyo na overcommit yata sila this time.
Okay, so si H2 doon, ang minamatay niya talaga before yung fight na yon is yung Lord.
Oo
Nandun na siya sa area eh. Tinitake down yan eh. And napakaganda nung iniisip na yun ni H2 kasi nga, ginamit ni Carl Z yung retro niya para ma-secure yung purple buff. So ibig sabihin, in retro fight, there is no way na mananalo yung Bren Esports kasi nga wala na silang retribution in the first place.
Oo, is that a miscommunication for the side of NXP? H2O eyeing down the Lord pero the rest of the members go doon sa may buff. Pero mamaya na yon dahil history na yon. Pero dito, yung Lord buhay doon sa may top. Renny J still holding on dito sa gitna. Kakabol pa nga kaya hindi nila kaya rito. Si Renny J, they could be able to take down the Lord. Yun na nga, nabura na bigla. Pero may ejector. Napakaganda pero that's gonna be Rebo. Nag-last insanity lang paalis. Hindi nyo kaya akong makukuha ng ganun lang mga pre. Pero ito na, NXP Solid able to defend the first Lord na binato sa kanila ng Bren Esports.
And nakikita nyo yung minions dito gumagalaw na papunta doon sa side ng NXP Solid. Ito yung opening na hinahanap ng Bren Esports kanina pa. Curtsy dito, umabot na siya ng level 15. Nasa 15 minutes na tayo dito. Ibig sabihin, nakuha niya na din yung mga items na kailangan niya para out-carry etong H2O Lancelot na nakikita natin dito.
Totoo. Pero dito Doc Rebo, pumasok with the last insanity but MB just used the Black Dragon para i-show away dito the rest of the member of Bren Esports. I think Bren Esports still not capable to end this one. Pero the Phantom Speed dito ni Carl TC, nilabas niya na, ginamit niya pa, talon doon si Renny J. Sustain na naman ang laban. Sino ang unang mabubura? Look at Renny J. Nasa gitna na walang
Grabe si Rebo.
dito. Pero Rebo with the last insanity, ang sakit ng damage. Naku po, si Yawi na lang din ang natira with H2O. Paano na kaya? Unti, makakabasag na ngayon. Ang Bren, ito na nga kaya, pero out na muna sila dito. Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna go for a very late game. NXP Solid still holding on.
Okay. Key factors tayo dito para manalo sila. Yung kanina may key factors tayo sa series, ngayon may key factors tayo sa game. Sa NXP Solid, huwag sila lumaban na may ultimate dito yung side ng Bren Esports. Hindi magiging patas sa kanila yun. Kailangan antayin nila mawala yung Phantom Sword ni Carl Z. Kapag may Phantom Sword si Carl Z, ganito yung nangyayari.
Oo. Talagang may mapipitas talaga na isa. Pero at this point kasi, the Phantom State, if I'm not mistaken, this is less than 15 seconds or rather 20 ang cooldown. So this is really spammable at this moment. Pero, ito na, Yawi dito. Siya yung wala. It's gonna be 20 seconds on the death timer. Kaya pa kayang i-hold to ng NXP Solid. They almost had it, ladies and gentlemen. They have to prove it na kaya nila na tumapos ng laro.
And it wouldn't really take a miracle for NXP Solid to come back from this. But still, Bren Esports, hindi nila ginagawang madali yung pag-comeback dito ng Bren Esports. And that is going to be Renny J going down.
Yes, that's gonna be it. Dahil kanina, hindi siya basta-basta na nabubura. Yung tubig din, biglang nawala. Naku po, dalawang miyembro ng NXP Solid na ang nawawala. Sino pa kaya ang matitira? MB doon sa likod. Though, napatay niya si Carl TC. Ang tawag pa doon, enough na ba yun? May lista na ba na magaganap? Ang bida nagpabubugbog daw sa una. Pero ito nakakaya dahil ang NXP Solid ay unti-unting nawawala. Si Chester na lang ang natitira. 3-0, magkakatotoo ba ang hula?
And that is going to be the game. 3-0. Katulad ng sinabi nung kanilang coach.
They delivered, ladies and gentlemen. But still, I thought that was NXP Solid's game to win.
And tingnan mo sila, nag-enjoy sila dahil tama ang kanilang ang kanilang prediction. Kung nakikita niyo dito kung paano sila mag-enjoy ngayon, pinapakita lang nila na, men, 3-0.
Yes, 3-0. Pero that was a beautiful team fight from Bren Esports. I'm not gonna lie. They just started with Last Insanity, and after the Last Insanity, that's the time na magpa-Phantom Steed si Carl TZ. And the rest is gonna be history.
Ang ganda ng pacing nung una ng Nexplay. Talagang hinanap nila yung mga weak points yung side ng Bren. Alam nila na kaya nila yung Bren for the first few minutes of the game. Kaya yung Lance na H2O, nagwala talaga eh.
Oo.
Ang hindi na lang nila nahanap dito is kung paano i-contain yung lineup ng Bren Esports. Kasi kahit sabihin mong yes, nagwawala si H2O, pero dun sa may kabilang lane may nagwa-farm. Dun sa kabilang lane may nagwa-farm din. So ibig sabihin, habang lumalaki na lumalaki yung problema, natutuon na din yung pansin ni H2O dun sa kabilang lane na kahit yung na-shutdown niya dun sa may gitna, nakabawi na rin.
Yeah. That's partly a little miscommunication on the side of NXP. Pero again, mga kaibigan, for the team of NXP Solid as well with the supporters, this is gonna be their final series or rather match to play because they're already out for the MPL Season 6 Playoffs. And of course, congratulations to Bren Esports moving on to the semifinals, going against tomorrow for ONIC.
Pero ito lang sabihin ko, it might have been a very controversial season for the side of NXP.
Yes.
Pero remember, hindi kayo makakapasok dito sa MPL ng basta-basta lang. Mahirap ang daan papunta sa MPL and you guys really deserve it. Maraming salamat sa pagsali and we hope to see you ng Season 7.
Yes, we hope to see you on Season 7. This may be their rookie year but they proved to us that they are capable and really worth na nandito sa atin sa MPL Season
Congrats,
6.
Bren.
Congratulations once again, Bren. Bukas, mainit na naman ang mga magiging laban. Though ngayon, puro sweep ang nangyari. Atin munang pakinggan ang ating solo analyst, Rockhart. Anong meron dyan?
Pinagalitan kami ni Ginoo. Parang mali daw ang nangyari. Pero, wala na yung problema. We are here, back on the solo analyst desk with me, your analyst Rockhart. And let's break down kung ano ba ang nangyari dun sa laban ng NXP at ng Bren Esports. First of all, on the items, we will see si H2O. Tama yung sinabi ng mga casters natin, nagwala talaga dun si H2O. Napakalupit ng performance din in the early game with MB keeping everyone steady. And of course, Yawi holding it everyone. I mean, I really thought that yung game na yon until siguro mga 7-8 minutes, akala ko dire-diretso na tayo to game 4 kaya nag-ready na kami, natutuwa na kami. Pero biglang, oh my gosh, si Ginoong Valdez nagalit na naman. Ito na tayo sa item builds with this matchup. Again, it was a difficult game to start. Dragon Balls for Carl TZ and si Lasty tinapon lahat bago matapos. Okay, mag-alala, hindi yan yung talagang pinanlaban nilang build. Baka gayahin nyo. Pag ginaya nyo sa rank games yan, mapapagalitan kayo ng mga kampi nyo. Now, I think the important thing to know here is Rene J really popped off finally here on the Esmeralda. Like, siya ang nasa pronta, kadalasan kasama si Chester, and Yawi, of course, was just more of a utility. More of the utility, more of trying to keep everyone where they should be. Using yung ejector. Ginagap yung ejector to keep everyone on the right track. But again, it was really just not enough in the later parts of the game. H2O just so consistent. I have to say, napakaaga niya nakuha yung mga gamit niya. And it really did look like it was the end. It looked like Game 4. Pero overall, it's just very difficult to do it against a team that is very good in the mid-game. Itong lineup na to, pang mid-game talaga to. Kasi sa early game, hindi sila papalag. I would say, even as a Leomord main player myself, alam ko na itong Leomord na to, kahit gawin yung funnel yan, napakatagal niyan talaga mag-ramp up. And it really did happen here in this matchup as well. On to the post-game analysis, post-match data here. Quit sa buff. Halos quits tayo sa buff ngayon. Lords and Turtles, actually most of the Turtles went over to NXP, which is a little surprising, pero they really did. They had their eyes on the prize. Yung punta ka sa turtle, gamitan mo yan at ibigay mo dun sa Lancelot na nakakapag-skill spam. Nagbabato ng bato nung mga forward rows, napakasakit. It really did work well for NXP. Literally, ito yung mga kasabihang, they were winning until they lost. Literally. And that is just the story for game number 3. And this is just, this is a good form. This is good form from NXP finally on game 3, no? Isipin mo, nagawa nila yon, pinapahirapan nila ng tuluyan yung Bren Esports. Nagmukha talagang kaya nilang itodo sa base, pero isang pagkakamali lang. Actually, isa lang yun eh. Yung nagkahiwa-hiwalay sila. Mamaya sana makita natin yon here on our highlights. Makita natin kung saang moment yung medyo nag-fall apart yung opensa ng NXP. We're looking for Yawi. And again, it's no surprise that they are gonna get first blood here. Especially with a Selena on your lineup. Napakalakas niyan mang first blood. Basta tumama yung pana. And overall, kita nyo dito eh. Even in these matchups, you can really tell. Kahit nawala si H2O dito, they were in for a real treat. Pero si Carl TZ, this is the turtle that Carl TZ actually got. Ito yung isa sa mga moments na, medyo nagising si Carl TZ dito sa game na to ah. And they shuffle around, may mga konting sakripisyong nangyari dito. And overall, Carl TZ actually also made some mistakes going in. I think yan yun, exactly. And this is the one of the matchups where it really looked really well para sa NXP. They could go all out. Ang daming, everyone from Bren was low. Low members means that you could take towers. Pero look at this. This was the turning point. Rebo with the perfectly timed last insanity. And of course, after that, si Rene J na split din siya from his team. It looked like they were going for the push. And Yawi, great pick-off. Here as well, tinanggal si Carl sa Barbiel. Ganong kaganda yung ejector ni Yawi dito. It was just not enough. In the end, itong last insanity ito, boom! As in, dito nagkawatak-watak. Yung opensa sana ni H2O going into the fight, nawala because majority of his health natanggal dahil dun sa last insanity and nahiwalay si Rene J dun sa dulo. And this is the winning push for Bren Esports. It took everything they had to close this out in the way that they did. And in the end, it really did look like Bren Esports was the better team in this matchup. MVP for this game, just like the last few games, it really looked like Rebo was the one doing the heavy work for Bren Esports. Napaka-consistent mula pa nung Season 1. MVP siya nung MPL Season 1 nung nag-champion sila. And this time, it really did look like he did the tricks. He was the turning point. Siya yung nagpaikot nung game na yun na supposed to be NXP talaga mananalo. Pero sabi niya, hindi pa ako tapos. Nag-post ako, nag-status ako sa Facebook kanina. Sabi ko, insta nyo na. At ginawa nga niya yun here in this matchup. Congratulations to Bren Esports for a 3-0 victory laban sa NXP Solid. And NXP Solid, we will see you definitely on next season. Very excited for that as well. So, I know about you guys. This is a shorter night compared to before. Follow nyo ang Bren Esports sa kanilang tatahaking landas dito sa Mobile Legends Bang Bang Professional League Season 6. Scan nyo yung QR codes dyan sa ating screen. And, syempre naman, sa kabilang dako, hindi pa sila tapos. Ito pa lang ang kanilang rookie season at sila ay magbabalik. Ito ang NXP Solid. Scan nyo ang QR code nila dyan sa inyong mga screens. Support them, i-console nyo sila, kausapin nyo sila, and let them know you still support. Let them know na solid pa rin kayo para sa kanila. And of course, if you're watching, go ahead and watch that on the official MPL-PH Facebook page. And as well as, of course, check out these survey codes. Check out this survey. Fill up the survey. Use your phone to scan the QR codes. Get a chance to win prizes habang nanonood kayo ng MPL. At syempre, hanggang dulong-dulo tayo. After this survey, meron pa tayong isa. Meron pa tayong... Yun pala. Baliktad. Giveaway codes right there on your screens. Go ahead, scan that. Put it. Redeem it from the website. I think redeem.mobile legends. Basta search yung MLBB redeem. Ayun, Mobile Legends redeem. Yan na yun. Ilagay nyo yung codes na yan doon. You'll get a chance to win awesome prizes. Of course, all of that from Moontun. Napakalupit na laban talaga noon. Nag-iinit pa rin yung mga players natin. Gusto ko na mag-open ng aking social media. Legit! Gusto ko makita yung mga gaganap na pagiging esports Diba? Ng Bren Esports. Diba? Magiging sportsman sila. At syempre gusto nyo makita yung mga pagpasalamat din ng NXP Solid bonus codes. I-distract ko lang kayo actually. Huwag nyo claim yung codes para, wala pa tayo dyan. And of course, make sure to still support your teams. I-message sila this match, this day. It's really quick. Bitin na bitin ang mga viewers natin for sure. I'm very excited for tomorrow as well. Makita natin mamaya most likely yung mga magiging matchups. Hopefully, ipaliwanag sa atin yun ng ating mga kaibigan sa panel. And silang, mga analysts natin, init na din yan for sure na mag-breakdown ng games natin. So go ahead, our panel, take it away.
Maraming salamat, Rockhart, and there you have it. 3-0 throughout the day. It started off with ONIC-PH versus Aura, 3-0. NXP versus Bren, 3-0 rin. Lamang ang Bren, and Bren will advance to go on to the semifinals to face off against ONIC. Mainit na laban yun, pero hindi pa tapos. Ang araw natin ngayon, we still have Chin and Midnight here, and man, the 3-0 here, we saw a bit of a fighting chance coming in from NXP at least.
Yun na lang.
Hingan muna tayo. Medyo feeling ko, excited din tayo magbukas ng hindi lang si Rockhart, excited din tayo magbukas ng mga Well, ako, nag-status na ako.
Kumbaga, hindi pa talaga tapos yung laban
Yeah.
Like, it's not yet over.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Bren won the fight here sa MPL. Pero there's another battlefield.
Definitely.
Yeah. The land of media, the land of SOCMED, ang tawag natin doon. Pero, ito na nga kausapin natin ang Bren Esports, specifically Carl Teasy, the man, the myth, the legend, naglabas ng pangalawang Savage dito sa MPL. Yung unang Savage, by the way, came from Bren Esports as well. Si Few na sa Eudora niya. And ito na naman, another Savage for Bren Esports. Carl Teasy on call right now kasi Reptar, si Chin Valdez at saka si Midnight nandito. Chin, anong tanong mo para kay paring Carl Teasy?
Itong si Carl Teasy, sorry, I'm talking to you. So Carl, I was talking about you kanina, sabi ko, itong si Carl Teasy talaga coming in from season 2, meron kang ability meron kang parang Sharingan na nakikita mo talaga yung weakness ng yung weakness ng kalaban mo So ito yung tanong ko para sa'yo. Bakit isang beses ka lang ng Savage? Hindi,
Siguro po,
actually, congratulations lang din, Carl. Sige, sorry, you were saying?
Wala po, sige po.
Sorry, I'll pass it on na to Midnight.
Carl, ano gusto mong flavor? Chocolate or Chocolate or strawberry?
Chocolate coach.
Yeah. Lang. Inside story lang. Kasi may utang ako kay Carl Teasy. Magkausap kami kagabi, sabi ko, pag nakaisa sa inyo yung Nexplay, lilibre kita ng pag nakaisa yung Nexplay, lilibre mo akong milk tea. Pag na 3-0, lilibre ko sila ng milk tea. Yes, chocolate. Pero may legit question ako. Siyempre, we have to bring out the nice story for this affair. Hindi naman pwedeng Bren lang ipinapakita natin. For you, Carl, ano ba yung mga magandang aspects na nakita nyo sa Nexplay? Kasi lahat ng team may flavor. Para sa inyo, ano tingin nyo sa Nexplay?
Coach, malakas naman yung Nexplay. Talagang yung dalawang player lang talaga nila, feeling ko yun na talaga yung gagaling nila. Wala na silang ibang gagaling.
Oh my God.
Trust talk pa din.
Hindi trash talk yun. Totoo lang.
Hindi. Totoo yun, diba? Kasi for the longest time, marami nagsasabi na may malakas talaga yung Nexplay. Real talk, kahit ako aminado ako, malakas yung Nexplay, diba? Would you agree, Carl? Malakas talaga yung Nexplay. Meron silang dalawang insane talented players. So, syempre, may maganda pa rin tayo makikita rito sa series. Congratulations again, Carl, for the 3-0 sweep. And good luck sa inyo bukas.
Carl, yung mga plano na prepare nyo para sa araw na to, natupad ba lahat? Sa drafting, easy lang ba? Predicted ba lahat ng ni Coach Dake dyan? On the preparation side, lahat ng prepare nyo, nakita nyo ba at nagawa nyo ba dito laban sa NXP?
Opo, lahat po ng pinagplanuhan namin, yun po yung lumabas. Predicted na po namin sila.
Ako po, predicted na nga. Oo.
To add lang din, kasi hindi naman talaga ako napagtanong ng totoong tanong kanina. You say na predicted kasi ngayon yung galaw ng NXP. Tsaka predicted din yung outcome. So ngayon, ang tanong ko is, kaya nyo bang i-predict din kaya kung ano yung parang halos mirror nyo na team bukas na ONIC?
Kaya naman po kasi nakita naman po namin yung laro nila kanina. Kasi yung laro po namin di pa in 100% talaga.
Ayan na
Yung
nga.
tinatago
Here we
pa
go.
Tuloy-tuloy.
Let's go, Carl TZ.
Tuloy-tuloy lang yung trash talk kayo.
Naku, hindi pa yung 100% lakas ni Carl TZ at Bren dito. Naku po, kung may social media training kayo, Carl, grabe, ang galing nyo mag-usap. Mainit yung mga interviews ng Bren dito. Pero Carl, grabe, nilabas mo yung second savage para sa Bren, para sa MPL season natin. Great showing from Bren Esports. Ano ang mensahe ni Carl TZ para sa mga supporters ng Bren at para sa mga nanonood ng MPL?
Sa mga sumusuporta sa Bren, thank you sa suporta. At patuloy niyo lang kami suportahan. Mag-champion na kami.
Yeah.
Yun.
Wala ka bang ano dyan? Special shout out to special someone.
Uy!
Shout sa family ko, shout sa girlfriend ko kay Debbie.
Yeah.
Wow!
Mainit, inspired. Inspired si Kuya Carl TZ.
Inspire ka, kaya nakasabi si Kuya Carl TZ. Congratulations sa'yo and to the rest of Bren Esports. Excited to see you tomorrow against ONIC. Man, oh man, it is gonna be exciting. Tapos na ang pangalawang araw dito ng MPL. 2 araw na lang. It is another Laglagan Fest tomorrow. Posible, baka feeling ko pag uwi mo, balik ka dito, dala ka na ng unan kasi baka dito ka na matulog. It's gonna be a crazy series. Yeah, it's Execration versus Signal. Omega. There we go. Execration versus Omega. And then ONIC versus Bren. Let's go into your thoughts, Midnight, for Execration versus Omega.
Alam mo, ano to labanan ng kulay to Blue Wars tsaka Yellow Wars diba? Labanan ng kulay Di ko maintindihan ba't ganito na punta yung MPL natin. Pero, kidding aside, for these 2 matches, no, tong Execration versus Omega, I feel like it's a battle of consistency. Lamang ng konti si Omega dito kasi as much as I'd love to see Execration come out on top, I really need to see the consistency on their main funnel. Si Hate, he really needs to step up kasi compared to the playstyle na pinakita ng kalaban nila kapon, which was Signal, Hate stepped up like a lot. Carried the entire game 1 and game 4 for Signal. And Execration, for the longest time, ang storyline ng Execration is Chakno and Benecutie. We need to see more. Sila sa Gitno, Etomax has been very consistent. Hate really needs to step up, especially with the performance na nakita natin from Hajizi yesterday. Ang laking threat niya.
Parang siya na lang yung kulang na lang Lahat na ng Execration, parang andun na They're in that level. Lahat sila, it's like, pre, tara, kaya mo na. Hate, let's go. Kasi lahat sila
Legit na tinik yung tinik talaga tong Execration. I'm not saying na sure win to for Omega. Ang laki ng chance, sa totoo lang, mas malaki ang chance ng Execration manalo against Omega if fair yung laban, like both teams are consistent. Mas mataas ang chance manalo ng Execration. They have the best late game record out of everyone. So that's telling something. Diba? That's telling something na nakakatakot yun if you're Omega. Pag lumagpas ng 18-minute mark, yung mga kamay niya nanginginig na.
You mentioned, Chin, na yung ONIC and Bren, and I think we were talking about this off-screen as well, na these are 2 very similar teams. Exactly. It seems like ready din naman ang Bren. Your thoughts for that matchup?
Actually, medyo doon din ako natatakot. Kasi feeling ko, since season 4 pa lang, kumbaga yung eyes ng ONIC has been on Aura. Baka mamaya, you get what I mean? Parang baka
ma-disregard, no?
They might have parang lost vision din of other threats such as ng Bren.
Yeah.
And kung nagmi-mirror na sila ngayon pala ng movements and they had to bring out an ace to get rid of their demon, which is Aura, baka mamaya it's the same ace that they will use against Bren. Pero according to Carl TZ, hindi pa yun.
No. And it's gonna be a battle of preparations talaga bukas. The stakes are really high. Once again, kung matalo ang isang team dito sa ating playoffs, laglag na sila. But whoever loses in the series tomorrow, makita din natin ulit sila sa Sunday for the battle of third. So there is still that. But kung sino ang mananalo, Execration, Omega, ONIC, Bren, they are gonna be going to the grand finals na best of 7. Pero pangalawang araw lang to at tapos na tayo. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat na sumuporta at nanood. Masaya si Ginoong Valdez. Hindi umabot yung mga game 5s pero lumapit na sa 1 million concurrent viewers sa lahat. So this would not be possible without you watching at home kung saan ka man. Maraming salamat sa iyong suporta. And of course, maraming salamat din sa Smart, our official telco partner. Squad up, rank up, and keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gigabytes for Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming. For 7 days, simply download the new GigaLife app and choose free games. Our official sponsor as well, Realme. Dare to leap to the next level with Realme's hip and awesome range of smartphones and AIoT products. Visit their official pages to know more. Gillette, #Shave the Day. Get free diamonds with purchase of Gillette's Mach 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack in select Pure Gold stores nationwide. Our partner in esports as well, Paymaya. Get free 50 pesos credits from Paymaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply. Our other partner in esports, TikTok as well. Search MLBB2 on TikTok to join. Win free Legend skins and MCL tickets. Limited quantity launch daily as 4 p.m. exclusive on TikTok treats. And there you have it. Our official gaming headset partner as well, Logitech G. And all of this is powered by Moonton. It is the Halloween season, but Christmas came early. Ang daming binibigay ng Moonton dito. Log in from October 26 to November 13. Get your Halloween candies, lahat. Do all the spins. Do all the draws na kailangan mo gawin para sa event na to. And get a chance to get that awesome Terizla skin. Once again, to close off the day, ako po si Reptar. Chin Valdez and Midnight joined us here today. Catch us tomorrow. Once again, hindi pa tapos ang playoffs natin. May third day pa. Once again, on behalf of the production team and everyone involved here in the MPL Playoffs, thank you so much for tuning in. But before we go, tignan muna natin ang top 5 plays.
Game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network's speed and strength. Slow means game over. But the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means game changing. Choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life? Simple and smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme 7 Pro, 65-watt charging evolution. Realme smartphone, dare to leap.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch
to Gillette Mac 3.